When a billionaire CEO with a broken heart meets a single dad plumber at her lowest moment, neither expects what comes next. Vanessa Carter built an empire on control until the night her ex sent her an invitation that felt like a knife wrapped in expensive paper. A charity gala. His gala, where everyone who mattered would watch her walk in alone, just like he'd planned. She had 72 hours and 0 options. Then she remembered the man who'd fixed her sink without asking questions, who'd smiled at her like she was just another person, not a headline. One desperate phone call later, everything changed. Stay with me until the end, hit that like button, and drop a comment with your city so I can see how far this story travels. The envelope arrived on a Tuesday. Vanessa Carter didn't open her own mail anymore, hadn't in years, but her assistant Maya knew better than to filter this one. It sat on Vanessa's desk at 6:47 a.m., cream-colored and expensive, the kind of stationery that cost more than most people's weekly groceries. The return address made Maya's stomach drop. He didn't, Maya whispered, standing in the doorway of Vanessa's corner office on the 43rd floor. Vanessa looked up from her laptop, already 3 emails deep into her morning. Her dark hair was pulled back tight, her suit sharp enough to cut glass. At 30 years old, she'd built Carter Industries from a single patent into a tech empire worth $2.3 billion. Forbes called her ruthless. Fortune called her brilliant. The people who'd underestimated her just called her lucky, but they said it quietly now. Didn't what? Vanessa reached for her coffee, not the envelope. Open it. Maya, just open it. Vanessa's fingers stopped halfway to her keyboard. She knew that tone. Maya had been with her for 5 years, since back when Vanessa was still proving herself, still hungry in a way that wasn't about money. They'd survived hostile takeovers, leaked prototypes, and one spectacularly failed product launch that nearly sank them. Maya didn't scare easy. Vanessa picked up the envelope. Heavy stock. Embossed. Her name written in actual calligraphy, not printed. Someone had taken time with this. Someone wanted it to hurt. She opened it. The Preston Foundation cordially invites you to the annual charity gala for children's health care. No. The word came out flat. Hosted by Jonathan Preston III and fiancée Elizabeth Hartwell. Absolutely not. Saturday, November 18th. Black tie. The Metropolitan Club. Vanessa set the invitation down like it might explode. Her hand was steady. It was always steady. She'd learned that early. Never let them see you shake. He's engaged, Maya said quietly. I can read. To Elizabeth Hartwell. The Elizabeth Hartwell. Vanessa knew exactly who Elizabeth Hartwell was. Everyone did. Old money, older family name, the kind of pedigree that made people like Jonathan Preston III feel validated. Elizabeth had gone to the right schools, joined the right boards, smiled in the right photographs. She was everything Vanessa wasn't, which is to say, she'd never had to build anything herself. When did this happen? Vanessa pulled up her tablet, already searching. 3 weeks ago, private ceremony in the Hamptons, very exclusive. Maya hesitated. There are photos. Don't. You're gonna look anyway. She was right. Vanessa was already scrolling. There they were, Jonathan in a white dinner jacket, Elizabeth in something vintage and perfect, both of them glowing with the confidence of people who'd never doubted they deserved happiness. The comment section was exactly what Vanessa expected. Perfect couple. So elegant. True love. Someone had written, finally found the right one. Finally. Like Vanessa had been a rough draft. A practice round. The one you dated when you were still figuring things out before you settled down with someone appropriate. You're not going! Maya's voice cut through the spiral. Of course I'm not going. Good. I'm absolutely going. Vanessa. He sent this to me personally, Maya, hand-addressed, 3 weeks after a private wedding I wasn't invited to. Vanessa stood, pacing to the window. Manhattan sprawled below her, steel and glass and ambition. She'd conquered this city. She wasn't about to let Jonathan Preston think he'd conquered her. He wants me to hide, to pretend I'm too busy or too hurt or too... whatever. He wants me to prove I'm still that girl he left. You're not that girl. Exactly. Vanessa turned back. So I'm going to walk into that gala and show him exactly what he gave up. Maya crossed her arms. With who? The question landed like a punch. Vanessa had been so focused on the decision to go, she hadn't considered the logistics. You didn't attend the Preston Foundation Gala alone. Not if you were Vanessa Carter. Not if you were proving a point. The whole purpose of these events was to see and be seen, to demonstrate your power, your connections, your worth. Walking in solo would be worse than not showing up at all. "I'll find someone," Vanessa said. "You have 4 days." "I'm aware. Everyone you know in this city either works for you, wants something from you, or is already going with someone else." Maya pulled out her phone. "I already checked. Marcus is in Tokyo. David's married now. Remember his wedding you skipped? And before you ask, no, you cannot bring a board member. That's just sad." Vanessa's jaw tightened. "I'll figure it out." "Vanessa, I said I'll figure it out. The words came out sharper than she'd intended. Maya just looked at her, that particular expression that meant, "I'm not your employee right now. I'm your friend, and you're being an idiot." "Sorry," Vanessa said quietly. I need this, Maya. I need to walk in there and show him I didn't fall apart, that I built something real while he was playing house with Daddy's foundation." "You did build something real. You don't need to prove that to him." "Maybe I need to prove it to myself." The words surprised them both. Vanessa never admitted vulnerability, never showed the cracks. But something about that invitation, about seeing Jonathan's face next to Elizabeth's, about that word finally, had gotten under her skin in a way hostile board members and failed negotiations never could. Maya sighed. "Okay, we'll find someone. I'll make calls." "Thank you. But Vanessa, you need to ask yourself why you actually want to go. Because if it's just to prove something to your ex, that's not going to feel as good as you think." After Maya left, Vanessa stood at the window for a long time. The city moved below her, people rushing to jobs, to meetings, to lives that didn't include charity galas and ex-boyfriends, and the exhausting work of pretending you had it all together. She'd met Jonathan 6 years ago, back when Carter Industries was just an idea and a patent. He'd been charming, connected, everything she thought she needed. For 2 years, they'd been Manhattan's golden couple. He'd introduced her to the right people, taught her which fork to use, corrected her grammar in front of his friends. And then, at his parents' anniversary party, in front of everyone who mattered, he told her she was too much, too ambitious, too focused on work, too willing to skip the right events for the wrong reasons. He'd said it like a joke, laughing with his father, while Vanessa stood there in a dress she'd bought specifically to impress them. She'd left that night and never looked back. Threw herself into work, built her empire, proved everyone wrong. But she'd never forgotten the way his friends had laughed, the way his mother had smiled sympathetically, like Vanessa was a problem that had solved itself. Her phone buzzed. Maya, with a list of potential dates. Vanessa scrolled through the names, a venture capitalist she'd once met at a conference, a CEO from a company she'd nearly acquired, someone's cousin who was apparently very presentable. They all felt wrong, performative, like showing up with a rented accessory instead of a real person. She needed someone who would make Jonathan see what he'd lost, someone who would make the room stop and stare and wonder who Vanessa Carter had become. Someone. The apartment buzzer rang. Vanessa frowned. She wasn't expecting anyone. Her building had doormen, security, the kind of protocols that meant unexpected visitors didn't just buzz your apartment. She pressed the intercom. "Yes? Ms. Carter? It's Liam Brooks, the plumber? Your kitchen sink is still leaking. I told you I'd come back to check it." Vanessa had completely forgotten. Last Thursday, she'd come home to find her kitchen flooded, water everywhere, ruining the custom cabinets and the Italian tile. The building's regular plumber had been unavailable, so they'd sent someone from a local company instead. He'd shown up in work boots and a company shirt, fixed the immediate problem, and promised to return to make sure the repair held. She'd barely looked at him, just pointed to the kitchen and gone back to her laptop. "Right," she said now. "Come up." She buzzed him in, then realized the apartment was a disaster. She'd been so focused on work, she hadn't noticed the takeout containers piling up, the dry cleaning still in bags on the couch, the general chaos that accumulated when you stopped caring about anything except the next deal. The knock came. She opened the door. Liam Brooks stood in the hallway with a toolbox, wearing the same company shirt, his dark hair slightly messy like he'd been running his hands through it. He had the kind of face that didn't photograph well, too real, too unpolished, but worked somehow in person. Early 30s, probably. Tired eyes that suggested a story Vanessa didn't have time to hear. Ms. Carter, he nodded, professional. This won't take long, just need to check the connection. Fine. She let him in, returning to her laptop while he worked. She could hear him in the kitchen, the sound of tools, water running, the occasional quiet comment to himself. It was strangely normal having someone in her space who wasn't trying to pitch her something or impress her or get something out of her. 20 minutes later, he emerged. All set, he said. Should be good now. But if you notice any leaking, any issues at all, just call. No charge for the follow-up. Thank you. He started to leave, then paused. You okay? The question caught her off guard. Excuse me? Sorry, not my business. He shifted the toolbox. Last week you seemed stressed and this week you seem more stressed. My ex-wife used to get that same look when things piled up. Just checking. Vanessa stared at him. When was the last time someone had asked if she was okay and actually seemed to care about the answer? I'm fine, she said automatically. Okay. He didn't push, just gave a small nod and headed for the door. Wait. He turned back. Vanessa wasn't sure what she was doing. The words came out before she could stop them. Do you own a suit? Liam blinked. A suit? Yes, for formal events. I own a suit. Wore it to my wedding, my divorce hearing, and my daughter's baptism. Why? Are you free Saturday night? He set down the toolbox, studying her with an expression she couldn't quite read. Not suspicious exactly, just careful, like a man who'd learned not to trust easy opportunities. What's Saturday night? A charity gala. Black tie. Very boring, very pretentious. I need someone to go with me. You're asking your plumber to be your date to a gala. I'm asking a person to accompany me to an event. The fact that you're also a plumber is irrelevant. Uh-huh. He leaned against the doorframe. What's really going on? Vanessa almost lied. Almost gave him the polished version, the explanation that made her sound confident and in control. But something about the way he'd asked if she was okay, the genuine concern in it, made her tell the truth. My ex is hosting. He's engaged now, to someone perfect. And everyone we used to know will be there, waiting to see if I fall apart or hide, or give them something to talk about. I need to walk in there with someone who makes it clear I've moved on, that I'm fine, better than fine. So you want me to be your fake boyfriend? I want you to be my date, for one night. I'll pay you, obviously. I don't want your money. Everyone wants money. Not everyone. He picked up his toolbox again. Look, Ms. Carter, I'm sure you're used to buying whatever you need, but I'm not for sale. Find someone else. He was actually leaving. Vanessa felt something like panic rise in her chest. Wait, please. He stopped. I'm sorry, she said, and meant it. That was insulting. I don't know how to ask for help anymore. I don't know how to admit I need something without trying to turn it into a transaction. Liam turned back slowly. You need help walking into a room? I need help walking into a room where everyone will be judging me, measuring me, waiting for me to prove I'm broken or bitter or still in love with someone who humiliated me. Are you? Still in love with him? No, but I'm still angry, and I don't want to be. I want to walk in there and feel nothing. And I think, she hesitated, I think having someone with me who doesn't care about any of it might help. He was quiet for a moment. Then, why me? Because you asked if I was okay. Because you fixed my sink without trying to network or get my business card. Because you seem like someone who wouldn't be impressed by any of it. I'm not. I know. Liam set the toolbox down again. I have a daughter, Emma. She's 7. Saturday night is movie night. Bring her. To a black tie charity gala? No, Vanessa caught herself. I understand. Family comes first. You don't have kids, do you? No. It shows. But he said it without judgment, just observation. Look, Ms. Carter, Vanessa, I don't know anything about your world. I'm not going to say the right things or know the right people or make you look good. I don't need you to make me look good. I just need you to stand next to me like I'm not alone. He studied her for a long moment. She could see him thinking it through, weighing something she couldn't name. Finally, I'll need to find a babysitter, and I'm not wearing a tux. I have a suit, it's clean, it fits, that's the best I can do. That's perfect. And this isn't a transaction. You're not paying me. If I'm going because... He trailed off. Because you look like you needed help, and I'm not great at walking away from that. Something in Vanessa's chest loosened. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I might embarrass you. You won't. You don't know that. I do. And strangely, she did. There was something steady about him, something calm that made her think he'd be exactly who he was no matter where he stood. After he left, Vanessa stood in her apartment feeling something she hadn't felt in years. Not relief exactly, not happiness, just less alone. She picked up her phone and called Maya. I found someone. Already? Who? The plumber. The what? You heard me. Vanessa, are you having a breakdown? Do I need to call someone? I'm fine. His name is Liam Brooks. He's going to be my date. Your plumber. Stop saying it like that. Like what? Like you've lost your mind? He said yes, Maya. He's nice. Normal. Exactly what I need. There was a long pause, then, okay, send me his info. I'll have a car pick him up, make sure he knows the dress code, brief him on the guest list. No. No? No briefing, no car service, no prep. I just need him to show up and be himself. Vanessa, this is the Preston Foundation Gala. Every person there will be someone important. You can't just bring a random plumber and hope it works out. Watch me. She hung up before Maya could argue further. The next 3 days blurred together. Work consumed her. A merger that needed finalizing. A product launch that kept getting delayed. The 1,000 small fires that made up her daily life. But in the quiet moments, she found herself thinking about Saturday. About walking into that ballroom. About Jonathan's face when he saw her. About Liam Brooks showing up in a simple suit, carrying his toolbox of whatever it was plumbers carried instead of ambition. Friday night, her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. This is Liam. Maya gave me your number. Found a babysitter. I'll meet you there at 7. Is that okay? Vanessa smiled despite herself. Perfect. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I really might embarrass you. I really don't think you will. Saturday arrived faster than she expected. Vanessa spent the morning pretending to work, the afternoon getting ready, and the evening staring at herself in the mirror wondering what the hell she was doing. The dress was perfect, midnight blue, elegant without trying too hard, expensive enough to signal she belonged, but not so flashy it looked desperate. Her hair fell in waves she'd paid someone to make look effortless. Her makeup was flawless. She looked like the woman she'd built herself into. Confident, successful, untouchable. She looked like a lie. The car arrived at 6:45. Vanessa took a breath, grabbed her clutch, and headed down. The driver was professional, silent, exactly what she needed. They pulled up to the Metropolitan Club at 6:58. And there, standing on the sidewalk in a navy suit that had definitely seen better days but fit him well enough, was Liam Brooks. He looked completely out of place and entirely comfortable with it. Vanessa stepped out of the car. He turned, saw her, and something in his expression shifted. Not awe, exactly, just appreciation, like he was seeing a person, not a package. You look nice, he said. So do you. I look like a guy who owns one suit. You look like someone who doesn't need to try too hard. He smiled at that. Ready? No, but let's go anyway. He offered his arm. She took it. And together they walked toward the doors of the Metropolitan Club, toward the ballroom full of people who would judge them, toward Jonathan and Elizabeth and everything Vanessa had been running from for 4 years. The doorman nodded them through. The coat check took her wrap. And then they were standing at the entrance to the ballroom, the noise of conversation and clinking glasses washing over them like a wave. Last chance to run, Liam said quietly. Vanessa looked at him, this man she barely knew, who'd shown up because she'd asked, who had nothing to gain and nothing to prove. I don't run, she said. I'm starting to see that. They walked in together. The ballroom was exactly what Vanessa expected. Crystal chandeliers, ice sculptures, women in gowns that cost more than cars. Men in tuxedos discussing deals they'd made before dessert was served. The air smelled like money and ambition, and the particular anxiety of people trying desperately to look like they weren't trying at all. Heads turned when she entered. They always did. But this time the looks lingered longer, curious, measuring the man beside her. "They're staring," Liam murmured. "Let them. You're used to this." Unfortunately. A waiter appeared with champagne. Vanessa took a glass. Liam did too, then looked at it like he wasn't quite sure what to do with it. "You don't have to drink it," Vanessa said. "I know, but it seems rude not to." He took a sip, made a face. "That's terrible." Vanessa laughed, actually laughed, and several people nearby turned to look. When was the last time she'd laughed at one of these things? "Come on," she said. "Let's make the rounds before—" "Vanessa." The voice stopped her cold. She turned. Jonathan Preston III stood 5 feet away, Elizabeth Hartwell on his arm, both of them looking exactly as perfect as their engagement photos. He wore his tuxedo like he'd been born in it. She wore diamonds like they were punctuation. "Jonathan," Vanessa said evenly, "congratulations on the engagement." "Thank you." His eyes flickered to Liam, assessing, calculating. "I'm glad you could make it. I wasn't sure you'd come." Liar, Vanessa thought. "You were counting on it." "Wouldn't miss it," she said. "This is Liam Brooks. Liam, Jonathan Preston, and Elizabeth Hartwell." Liam extended his hand. "Nice to meet you." Jonathan shook it, the grip lasting just a second too long, just firm enough to be a statement. "Brooks, what do you do, Liam?" And there it was. This question that mattered in rooms like this. Not who are you, but what do you do? How much are you worth? What can you offer me? Vanessa tensed, waiting for Liam to stumble, to deflect, to feel the weight of being measured and found wanting. But Liam just smiled. "I'm a plumber," he said simply. "Fix things that are broken. You?" The silence lasted maybe 3 seconds, but it felt eternal. Then Elizabeth laughed, a genuine, surprised laugh that made several people nearby look over. "I like him," she said to Vanessa. "He's honest." Jonathan's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. "How refreshing." "Well, enjoy the evening. We should catch up later, Vanessa." He steered Elizabeth away before Vanessa could respond. She let out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. "Did I mess that up?" Liam asked quietly. "No," Vanessa said, watching Jonathan's retreating back. "That was perfect." And it was. Because for the first time in 4 years, she'd stood in front of Jonathan Preston III and felt absolutely nothing except maybe the faintest hint of pity. The evening stretched ahead of them, dinner to survive, speeches to endure, conversations to navigate. But standing there in that ballroom, her hand resting lightly on Liam's arm, Vanessa Carter realized something unexpected. She wasn't pretending anymore. She wasn't performing strength or faking confidence or trying to prove anything to anyone. She was just there, present, real. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. The champagne tasted like expensive regret, but Vanessa kept sipping it anyway. Around them, the ballroom hummed with the particular energy of people who had too much money and not enough problems. Liam stood beside her, hands in his pockets now, watching the crowd with the detached interest of someone observing a nature documentary. "You want to tell me what that was about?" he asked. What was about?" "The way that guy looked at you, like he was waiting for you to fall apart." Vanessa's fingers tightened on her glass. "Jonathan doesn't matter." "Uh-huh. That's why you went completely rigid when you saw him." "I didn't." "You did. Your whole body changed, like you were putting on armor." He glanced at her. "You don't have to pretend with me, Vanessa. I'm just the plumber, remember?" She wanted to argue, to tell him he was wrong, to maintain the walls she'd built so carefully. But there was something about the way he said it, without judgment, without expectation, that made the walls feel pointless. "He's the one who told me I was too much," she said quietly, at his parents' anniversary party, in front of everyone. Said I cared more about work than people. That I'd never understand what really mattered. Then he dumped me, and I spent the next 4 years proving him right. "Did you? Prove him right?" "I built a billion-dollar company. I'm on the cover of magazines. I have everything I said I wanted." "That's not what I asked." Vanessa looked at him. His expression was open, genuinely curious, without the calculation she was used to seeing in people's eyes. I don't know, she admitted. I stopped thinking about what I actually wanted somewhere around year 2. It became about winning, about showing everyone they were wrong about me, including him, especially him. Liam nodded slowly. My ex-wife used to say I cared more about fixing other people's problems than dealing with my own. She wasn't wrong. I'd work 16-hour days, come home exhausted, and wonder why everything was falling apart. Turns out you can't fix a marriage the way you fix a sink. What happened? She met someone else. Someone who came home for dinner, who remembered birthdays, who actually looked at her when she talked. He shrugged. Can't really blame her. I was there, but I wasn't present, you know? I do, actually. A waiter passed with hors d'oeuvres that probably cost more than Liam's toolbox. He took one, examined it suspiciously, then ate it in one bite. What is that, he asked. Foie gras on brioche with fig reduction. It's liver on bread. Vanessa laughed again. People were definitely staring now. Vanessa Carter didn't laugh at charity galas. She networked, she smiled politely, she wrote checks. She didn't stand in the corner with a plumber making jokes about overpriced appetizers. Ms. Carter. Vanessa turned to find Margaret Chen approaching, the society reporter for Manhattan Life magazine. Margaret had covered Vanessa's rise, her relationship with Jonathan, and her subsequent success with the kind of gleeful attention that suggested she enjoyed watching people squirm. Margaret, how are you? Fabulous, darling. And who is this? Margaret's eyes were already calculating, cataloging, preparing the story she'd write. Liam Brooks. Liam, Margaret Chen. She writes for Manhattan Life. The plumber? Margaret's eyebrows rose. Oh, this is delicious. Vanessa Carter brings a tradesman to the Preston Gala. What's the angle, darling? New foundation supporting blue-collar workers? Diversity initiative? No angle, Vanessa said evenly. Liam's my date. Your date? Really? Margaret pulled out her phone. How did you two meet? He fixed my sink, Liam said before Vanessa could deflect. She had a leak. I stopped it. Then she asked me to come to this, and I said yes because I apparently make questionable life decisions. Margaret stared at him. Then she laughed, the kind of sharp bark that suggested genuine surprise. I like you, she said. You're either incredibly stupid or incredibly confident. I can't figure out which. Probably both, Liam agreed. Well, this will make a wonderful story. Billionaire CEO slumming it with the working class. Very democratic of you, Vanessa. The words hit exactly as Margaret intended. Vanessa felt her spine straighten, her professional smile clicking into place. It's not slumming when you're spending time with someone who actually does real work, Vanessa said. Unlike most of the people here who inherited their relevance. Margaret's smile sharpened. Careful, darling. Your bitterness is showing. Good, Vanessa said. I'd hate to be boring. Margaret left with a knowing look that promised trouble. Vanessa watched her go, feeling the familiar tightness in her chest that meant she'd said too much, revealed too much, given them ammunition. That went well, Liam observed. She's going to write something awful. Probably. Does it matter? Yes. No, I don't know. Vanessa finished her champagne. Everything here is performance. What you say, who you're with, what you wear, it all means something. It all gets judged. Sounds exhausting. It is. So why do it? The question should have been simple. Instead, it felt like someone had asked her to explain why she breathed. Because this is my world now. These are the people who matter. This is what success looks like. Does it? Liam gestured around the ballroom. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like a bunch of people in expensive clothes pretending to care about charity while they compete to see who matters more. That's exactly what it is. And you want to be part of this? I am part of this. I built companies. I make decisions that affect thousands of people. I change things. I'm not questioning what you built, Liam said quietly. I'm asking if this, he gestured again, is actually what you wanted or just what you thought you had to prove. Before Vanessa could answer, dinner was announced. The crowd moved toward the dining room, a slow migration of designer gowns and polished shoes. Liam offered his arm again. Vanessa took it, grateful for something solid to hold on to. They were seated at a table near the back, not quite the power tables near the stage, but not relegated to complete obscurity either. The placement was deliberate, Jonathan making a statement. You're here, but you don't matter as much as you think. Their table mates were a predictable mix. Richard and Susan Wallace, old money real estate. David Chen, tech CEO, who'd taken his company public last year. Amanda Price, philanthropist who'd married well and spent well. And the Hendersons, whose first names Vanessa could never remember despite meeting them a dozen times. Everyone smiled and introduced themselves with the practiced ease of people who did this 3 times a week. When Liam's turn came, he simply said, "Liam Brooks. I'm with Vanessa." "And what do you do, Liam?" Susan Wallace asked, her diamond bracelet catching the light as she reached for her wine. "I'm a plumber." The silence at the table was different from the silence with Jonathan. This one was longer, more uncomfortable, filled with the sound of people trying to figure out if this was a joke they weren't getting. "How interesting," Susan finally managed. "Not really," Liam said. "Most of the time it's just pipes and water and people who waited too long to call someone. But it pays the bills." "Do you have your own company?" David Chen asked, leaning forward with the interest of someone always looking for the business angle. "No, I work for Apex Plumbing. Been there 8 years." "And you're happy with that? Not interested in entrepreneurship?" Liam considered the question like it actually mattered. "I thought about it once. Wanted to start my own business, be my own boss. But then my daughter was born and priorities shifted. Stable paycheck, health insurance, time to actually be a dad. That mattered more than being an entrepreneur." "You have a daughter?" Amanda Price lit up. "How old?" 7. Emma. "She's with a babysitter tonight watching movies and eating more popcorn than any human should consume." "I have 3, Amanda said. "They're the only reason I survive these things. Someone has to pay for their college somehow." The conversation shifted then, became more real. Amanda and Liam swapped stories about school drop-offs and birthday parties. Susan Wallace, who'd seemed horrified initially, warmed up when Liam asked her about the building restoration project her husband was leading. Even David Chen relaxed, stopping his constant networking to actually eat his dinner. Vanessa watched it happen, this slow transformation of her table from performative politeness to something approaching genuine conversation. And at the center of it was Liam, asking questions like he actually cared about the answers, laughing at people's stories, treating a real estate mogul's wife the same way he'd treat anyone else. "Your plumber is quite charming," Susan whispered to Vanessa while Liam was debating private school curricula with Amanda. "Where did you find him?" "Under my sink," Vanessa said. Susan blinked. "You're serious, Completely." "Well, good for you." Susan raised her glass. "These events are unbearable enough. Might as well bring someone who makes them interesting." The first speech started, some board member droning on about childhood healthcare initiatives and donation goals. Vanessa had heard variations of this speech 100 times. She'd even given a few herself, reading from prepared notes about causes she supported with money, but not time. Halfway through, Liam leaned over and whispered, "Is he actually saying anything, or is this just fancy words meaning, 'give us money'?" The second thing. Thought so. When the speech ended and applause rippled through the room, Liam clapped politely but without enthusiasm. The honesty of it made Vanessa want to laugh. "You're supposed to look inspired," she whispered. "I'm supposed to look however I look. I don't do fake." I noticed. "Is that a problem?" "No," Vanessa realized. "It's actually refreshing." The next speaker was Jonathan himself. He took the stage with practiced ease, every inch the polished philanthropist. Elizabeth sat at the main table, watching him with obvious pride. "Thank you all for being here tonight," Jonathan began. "The Preston Foundation has been my family's legacy for 3 generations, and I'm honored to continue that work with all of you." Vanessa felt Liam glance at her. She kept her expression neutral, the mask she'd perfected over years of board meetings and hostile negotiations. Jonathan continued, talking about childhood health outcomes, foundation grants, partnership opportunities. His voice was smooth, confident, the same voice that had once told her she'd never understand what really mattered. "He's good at this," Liam murmured. "He should be. He's been doing it his whole life." "That's not a compliment." "I know." Jonathan wrapped up to enthusiastic applause. The waiters returned with dessert, something chocolate and unnecessary, and probably divine. Vanessa pushed hers around her plate. You okay? Liam asked. Fine. Vanessa. She looked at him. What? You're gripping your fork like you're planning to stab someone with it. She loosened her grip. He gets to stand up there and talk about legacy and family and doing good in the world, like he's some kind of hero. But it's all his father's money, his grandfather's foundation. He didn't build anything. He just inherited the right to act important. And that bothers you because? Because I actually built something from nothing, and he still gets to act like I'm the one who doesn't understand what matters. Do you understand what matters? The question should have made her angry. Instead, it just made her tired. I used to think I did, she said quietly. Before I met Jonathan, I had this whole plan. Build a company, change an industry, prove everyone wrong who said a girl from nowhere couldn't make it. And I did all of that. But somewhere along the way, the plan became the only thing. The work became everything. And now I'm sitting at this gala, at this table, in this dress. And I can't remember the last time I did something just because I wanted to. Not because it would impress someone or prove something or build the brand. When was the last time you were happy? Vanessa opened her mouth to answer and realized she couldn't. When was the last time? Before Jonathan? Before the company took off? Before she'd started measuring her worth by her net worth? I don't remember, she admitted. That's a problem. I know. The band started playing, a clear signal that dinner was over and the networking portion of the evening had begun. People stood, moved, regrouped. The real work of these galas happened now, in the conversations between dessert and departure. You want to dance? Liam asked. Vanessa looked at the dance floor where couples were already swaying to something classical and boring. You dance? I'm capable of moving in time to music without falling down. Does that count? At these things, that's more than enough. He stood, offered his hand. She took it. They moved to the floor, finding a spot away from the center, away from the couples who were clearly performing for the room. Liam's hand settled on her waist. She put hers on his shoulder. They moved together, not gracefully, not perfectly, but well enough. I haven't done this since my wedding, he said. How long ago was that? 9 years, different lifetime. Do you miss it, being married? I miss the idea of it, coming home to someone who knows you, having a partner. But the reality? We were better apart. Sometimes love isn't enough if you're both becoming people the other one doesn't recognize. Is that what happened? Partly. Mostly we just wanted different things. She wanted a husband who was present. I wanted to work myself to death proving I could provide. Neither of us was wrong. We just weren't right for each other. Do you still love her? No, but I appreciate who she was and what we had. She gave me Emma. That counts for something. Vanessa thought about Jonathan, about whether she'd ever reach that place of peace. Right now, all she felt was anger and something sharper that might have been regret. He's watching us, Liam said. Who? Your ex, from the main table. He's been watching since we got on the floor. Vanessa didn't turn to look. Good. Is that why you asked me to dance? To make him jealous? No. I asked you to dance because I wanted to dance with you. Okay. They moved in silence for a moment. The music shifted to something slower, more intimate. Around them, couples drew closer. Liam adjusted his grip, pulling her slightly nearer. Not inappropriate, not presumptuous, just closer. Can I ask you something? He said. Sure. Why are you really here? And don't say to prove something to your ex. There's more to it than that. Vanessa thought about lying, about giving him the easy answer. But she was tired of easy answers. Because I wanted to prove I could, she said. That I could walk into this room, into his event, and be fine. Better than fine. I wanted to show everyone that leaving me was his loss, not mine. And? Did you prove it? I don't know. I think maybe I proved that I don't actually care anymore, which wasn't what I expected. What did you expect? To feel vindicated, triumphant, something big and satisfying. Instead, I just feel empty. Like I spent 4 years building up to this moment, and now that I'm here, it doesn't mean what I thought it would. The song ended. Another started immediately, but Liam didn't let go. You want to know what I see when I look around this room? He asked. What? A lot of people working really hard to convince everyone else they're happy. The smiles are perfect, the laughs are loud. But nobody's eyes match their mouths. It's all performance. That's what I said earlier. I know. But here's the thing, you're performing too. You've been performing since we walked in. Maybe longer. I have to perform. This is my world. Is it? Or is it just the world you think you're supposed to want? Before Vanessa could answer, a hand tapped Liam's shoulder. Mind if I cut in? Jonathan stood there, smiling his perfect smile. Elizabeth nowhere in sight. Vanessa felt Liam's hand tighten slightly on her waist. Not possessive, just steadying. Actually, we're in the middle of something, Liam said politely. I'm sure Vanessa wouldn't mind catching up with an old friend. Jonathan's tone was pleasant, but his eyes were challenging. Vanessa looks pretty content to me, Liam said. The air between them shifted. Other dancers were starting to notice, starting to watch. It's fine, Vanessa said quietly. I'll dance with him. Liam looked at her, really looked at her, then nodded and stepped back. I'll get us drinks. He walked away without looking back. Jonathan immediately took his place, his hand on her waist in the same spot, but feeling completely different. Where Liam's touch had been warm and present, Jonathan's felt calculated. So, Jonathan said as they moved, a plumber? Really? Really? Is this some kind of social experiment, dating outside your class to prove a point? He's not outside my class, Jonathan. And even if he were, what would that matter? Come on, Vanessa. You and I both know how this world works. You can't bring someone like that to an event like this and expect people not to talk. Let them talk. Is this about me? About us? She looked at him then, really looked at him. The perfect hair, the perfect tux, the perfect smile that never quite reached his eyes. Once upon a time, she'd thought this man held her future. Now he just looked like a very expensive stranger. This has nothing to do with you, she said. Then why bring him here? Why show up at all? Because you invited me, and I wanted to come. To prove you're over me. To prove to myself that you don't matter anymore. And you know what, Jonathan? It worked. Standing here with you right now, I feel absolutely nothing. Not anger, not hurt, not vindication, just nothing. You're just a guy I used to date who said some cruel things and moved on. That's all you are. His jaw tightened. You've changed. Good. The person I was when I was with you was trying so hard to fit into your world that I lost track of who I actually was. And who are you now? A billionaire slumming it with blue-collar workers? I'm someone who doesn't need you to validate my choices. I'm someone who brought a good man to a charity gala and didn't apologize for it. I'm someone who's done performing for people who never actually cared. The song ended. Vanessa stepped back before another could begin. Enjoy your evening, Jonathan. Enjoy your perfect fiancé and your perfect foundation and your perfect life that you didn't have to build because it was handed to you. I'm going to go find someone who actually sees me. She walked away, her heart pounding, but her steps steady. People were definitely watching now, definitely talking. Margaret Chen was probably already writing her story. Vanessa didn't care. She found Liam at the bar, 2 glasses of champagne in hand. That looked intense, he said, handing her a glass. It was necessary. You okay? Yeah, actually I am. They stood at the bar watching the room swirl around them. The dancing continued, the networking intensified. The performance went on. But Vanessa felt separate from it now, like she was watching through glass. You want to get out of here? Liam asked. We just got here. 2 hours ago. You've made your appearance, proved your point. Now we can leave. What about the rest of the evening? What about it? You going to donate more money because you stayed, build better connections? Or are you going to stand here pretending to enjoy champagne you don't like while people you don't care about judge your choices? Vanessa looked at him. You're very blunt. Life's too short to pretend. Emma taught me that. Kids don't know how to be fake yet. Everything's honest. Everything's real. I spent too many years forgetting that. Where would we go? I don't know. Somewhere real. Somewhere you can breathe. Vanessa thought about it, about staying, about continuing to prove things to people who didn't matter, about going home to her empty apartment and her empty life and calling it success. Or she could leave. Walk out of this ballroom with a plumber who'd shown up because she asked, who'd stood beside her without expectations, who'd asked if she was okay and actually wanted to know the answer. Okay, she said. Let's go. They collected their coats, walked past Margaret Chen, who was already typing on her phone, past tables of people whose names Vanessa knew but whose lives she didn't care about, past Jonathan and Elizabeth, who were posing for photographs like a perfect couple in a perfect world. Outside, the November air was cold and sharp. Vanessa breathed it in, feeling something loosen in her chest. "You have a car?" Liam asked. "I can call one, or we could walk. There's a diner about 6 blocks from here. Nothing fancy, but the coffee's decent and nobody there will care what you're wearing." A diner? Yeah, place with booths and menus and food that doesn't require a translation. Vanessa looked down at her dress, her heels, her coat that cost more than most people's monthly rent. "I'm not exactly dressed for a diner." "So? You'll be the best dressed person there. Come on, live a little." She should have said no, should have called her car, gone home, processed the evening alone like she always did. But something about the way Liam said live a little made her want to try. "Okay," she said. "Let's go to a diner." They walked through Manhattan at night, past the usual chaos of taxis and tourists and people living their lives. Vanessa's heels clicked on the sidewalk. Liam walked beside her, hands in his pockets, completely comfortable in the silence. The diner was exactly what he'd promised. Fluorescent lights, vinyl booths, a laminated menu that had seen better days. The few people inside looked up when they entered, taking in Vanessa's gala dress with mild curiosity before returning to their coffee. They slid into a booth. A waitress appeared, didn't blink at Vanessa's outfit, just pulled out her pad. "What can I get you?" "Coffee," Vanessa said. "And what's good here?" "Pancakes. Always the pancakes." "Pancakes, then. Make it 2, Liam added. "And bacon." The waitress left. Vanessa looked around the diner at the worn seats and scratched tables and flickering light fixture in the corner. It was the opposite of the Metropolitan Club in every possible way. "This is perfect," she said. "Yeah?" "Yeah." The coffee arrived in thick mugs. Vanessa wrapped her hands around hers, feeling the warmth seep into her fingers. When was the last time she'd sat in a diner at night, drinking bad coffee and waiting for pancakes? "Thank you," she said. "For tonight, for showing up, for being yourself, for getting me out of there." "You got yourself out. I just suggested an exit. Still, thank you." "You're welcome." He took a sip of coffee, made a face. "Okay, I lied. This coffee is terrible. It really is." They both laughed, the sound genuine and easy in a way nothing at the gala had been. The pancakes arrived, thick and drowning in syrup. Liam dug in immediately. Vanessa cut hers into precise pieces, then realized she was performing even here, trying to eat elegantly when elegant didn't matter. She picked up a piece with her fork and took a bite. It was heavy and sweet and absolutely perfect. "Good?" Liam asked. "Really good." They ate in comfortable silence. Outside, the city continued its endless noise. Inside the diner, everything felt slower, simpler, real. "Can I ask you something?" Vanessa said eventually. "Sure." "Why did you say yes? To the gala? You didn't know me. You had nothing to gain, so why?" Liam set down his fork, considering the question like he considered everything. "Honestly, because you looked like you needed help, and because something about the way you asked. You weren't trying to buy me or impress me or manipulate me. You were just asking, like a person asking another person for help. I couldn't remember the last time someone had done that with me. People must ask you for help all the time. You're a plumber. They ask for my services. That's different. They call, I fix their problem. They pay me. I leave. It's transactional. But you asked if I was okay first, before the gala, before any of this. You were drowning in whatever was happening in your life, and you still asked if I was okay. I didn't realize I did that. Most people don't. They're too busy with their own stuff to notice anyone else. But you noticed. So when you asked for help, I figured the least I could do was show up." Vanessa felt something shift in her chest, something warm and unfamiliar. "I'm glad you did," she said quietly. "Me too." They finished their pancakes, drank their terrible coffee, and sat in the diner booth like two normal people without billion-dollar companies or ex-boyfriends or complicated lives. And for the first time in longer than Vanessa could remember, she felt something that might have been happiness. The article hit Monday morning like a grenade wrapped in gossip. Vanessa saw it before her first coffee because Maya texted her at 6 a.m. with 3 words, "Don't read it." Which of course meant Vanessa immediately pulled up Manhattan Life on her phone and found Margaret Chen's byline above a photo of her and Liam on the dance floor. The headline read, "Billionaire's blue-collar rebound, Vanessa Carter's surprising +1 at Preston Gala." The article was exactly what Vanessa expected. Half admiration for her boldness, half thinly veiled mockery of Liam's background. Margaret had done her research. She knew where Liam worked, how much plumbers made, that he was divorced with a kid. She'd even found quotes from unnamed sources calling it refreshingly democratic and a transparent attempt at image rehabilitation. But what made Vanessa's stomach twist was the final paragraph. One has to wonder if Ms. Carter's choice of companion was genuine affection or calculated provocation aimed at her ex-boyfriend, Foundation Director Jonathan Preston III. Either way, it certainly got people talking. Mission accomplished. Vanessa set down her phone and stared at the ceiling of her bedroom. The apartment was silent except for the usual city noise filtering through triple-paned windows. Somewhere below, millions of people were starting their days without caring about society pages or ex-boyfriends or the exhausting performance of being Vanessa Carter. Her phone rang. "Maya." "I told you not to read it," Maya said without preamble. "You knew I would anyway." "True." "So, damage control. I've already drafted 3 responses. We can go with dignified silence, brief statement about privacy, or my personal favorite, a pointed reminder that your personal life is nobody's business and maybe people should focus on actual news." "None of those." "None?" "I don't want to respond at all. Let them talk." Maya was quiet for a moment. "Who are you, and what have you done with my boss?" "I'm serious. Responding just feeds it. Acting defensive makes it seem like I care what they think." "Do you care?" Vanessa thought about Saturday night, about pancakes in a diner and Liam asking why she was really at the gala, about walking out of that ballroom and feeling lighter than she had in years. "No," she said, "I really don't." "Well, character growth. I'm proud of you." Maya paused. "How's the plumber handling it?" "I don't know. I should probably call him." "Probably." After they hung up, Vanessa stared at Liam's contact in her phone. They'd exchanged numbers Saturday night, standing outside the diner while they waited for her car. He'd typed his number in himself, no assistant, no business card, just 10 digits and a simple "text me if you need anything." She typed out 3 different messages and deleted them all. What was she supposed to say? "Sorry you got dragged into my mess? Thanks for making me question my entire life. Hope your daughter's babysitter was good." Finally, she just wrote, "Did you see the article?" His response came 5 minutes later. "Emma's teacher showed me at drop-off. Apparently I'm famous now." "I'm sorry." "For what?" "I knew what I was signing up for. Well, not this exactly, but something like it." "Are you okay? Are you?" Vanessa stared at that question. Was she okay? She should be furious, defensive, already planning her counteroffensive. Instead, she felt strangely calm. "Yeah, actually I am." "Good. Me too. The guys at work are giving me hell, though. Someone printed out the photo and taped it in the break room." "What are they saying?" "That I clean up nice, that I'm dating out of my league, that I should get a prenup." A pause. "That last one was a joke, I think." Vanessa smiled despite everything. "Tell them we're not dating." "I did. They don't believe me." "Do you want them to?" The question came out before she could stop it. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. "I don't know," he finally wrote. "Do you?" Vanessa's finger hovered over the keyboard. This was dangerous territory. Liam was kind and real, and nothing like the men she usually dated, which is to say, she usually didn't date at all. She had arrangements, professional partnerships disguised as relationships, men who looked good in photos and understood that work came first. Liam was different. Liam had a daughter and a regular job, and a life that didn't revolve around board meetings and stock prices. Getting involved with him would be complicated in ways Vanessa didn't know how to handle. But sitting in her empty apartment, looking at his text, she couldn't think of a single good reason to say no. "I don't know either," she wrote back, "but I'd like to find out." "Okay." "Okay." That's what I said. "When do you want to find out?" "Are you free this week?" I work until 6 most days. Wednesday, I'm off at 4. Emma has soccer practice, so I'm free until 6:30. Wednesday at 4:30. There's a coffee place near my office. Redbird, do you know it? I can find it. See you then. See you then. Vanessa set down her phone and realized her hands were shaking. Not from nerves exactly, from something else, something that felt like possibility. The next 2 days crawled by. Work demanded her attention. A merger that needed finalizing, a product launch that kept hitting delays, the usual fires that made up her daily existence. But her mind kept drifting to Wednesday, to Liam, to the fact that she'd essentially asked out her plumber, and he'd said yes with the same casual ease he'd said yes to the gala. Maya noticed, of course. "You're distracted," she said Tuesday afternoon, standing in Vanessa's office doorway with a stack of contracts that needed signing. "I'm focused." "You've been staring at that email for 10 minutes. It's a catering invoice." Vanessa looked down at her screen. Maya was right. The email was from some catering company confirming refreshments for next week's board meeting. She'd read it 4 times without absorbing a single word. "Sorry, just thinking." "About?" "Nothing work-related." Maya's eyebrows rose. "Okay, now I'm worried. You never think about things that aren't work-related." "Maybe I should start." "Is this about the plumber?" Vanessa signed the contracts without looking up. "His name is Liam." "I know his name. I'm the one who vetted him before the gala, remember? Clean record, stable employment, daughter named Emma who goes to public school in Queens. He's exactly what he appears to be, a normal guy." "And that's a problem? For you?" "Usually, yes. You date venture capitalists and CEOs, men who understand your world." "Maybe I'm tired of my world." Maya sat down in the chair across from Vanessa's desk, the one reserved for serious conversations. "What's really going on?" Vanessa set down her pen. "I'm meeting him Wednesday. For coffee." "Like a date?" "Like a conversation that might lead to more conversations." "Vanessa, I say this with love. You're terrible at relationships. You work 80 hours a week. You answer emails at 2 a.m. Your last 3 boyfriends all ended things because you missed important events for board meetings." "I know." "And Liam has a kid. A kid means responsibility, schedules, someone else's needs coming before yours. That's not exactly your strong suit." "I know that too." Vanessa met Maya's eyes. "But when I'm with him, I don't feel like I'm performing. I don't feel like I have to prove anything or be anyone except myself. And I can't remember the last time I felt that way." Maya was quiet for a long moment. Then she smiled, the real smile she saved for when she wasn't being an assistant but a friend. "Okay," she said. "Just be careful. Not because I don't think he's great, but because I don't want to see you hurt when you realize being yourself might not be compatible with being a billionaire CEO." Wednesday arrived with rain, the kind of cold November downpour that made Manhattan feel gray and endless. Vanessa left the office at 4:15, took an umbrella from her assistant, and walked the 3 blocks to Redbird Coffee. The place was half full, mostly people hunched over laptops or phones, the universal posture of modern existence. Vanessa scanned the room and found Liam already there, sitting at a corner table with 2 cups of coffee, still wearing his work clothes. Cargo pants, company shirt, boots that had seen better days. He saw her and stood, uncertain about the greeting, until Vanessa just smiled and sat down across from him. "You're early," she said. Job finished faster than expected. Broken water heater in Midtown. Usually takes 3 hours, only took 2. He pushed one of the cups toward her. "I got you coffee, black. I don't know if that's right." "It's perfect." She took a sip. It was terrible coffee, the kind served in chain shops that cared more about volume than quality. It was also exactly what she needed. "How's Emma?" "Excited about soccer, nervous about spelling tests, currently obsessed with a book series about dragons and kids who train them. Normal 7-year-old stuff." "Does she know about me?" Liam shifted in his seat. "She knows I went to a fancy party Saturday. She saw the article because her best friend's mom showed her. Now she thinks I'm dating a princess." "A princess? You wear expensive dresses and have a lot of money. In her worldview, that equals royalty." "What did you tell her?" "That you're a friend, that we're getting to know each other, that nothing's decided yet." He looked at her directly. "Was that okay?" "It was honest. That's kind of my default. They sat in silence for a moment, the coffee shop noise filling the space between them. Somewhere behind Vanessa, someone's laptop beeped. A barista called out a name. Life continued, oblivious to the fact that Vanessa Carter was sitting in a chain coffee shop with a plumber, trying to figure out if this was a terrible idea or the best decision she'd made in years. "So," Liam said eventually, "what are we doing here?" "Drinking bad coffee." Besides that, Vanessa wrapped her hands around her cup, feeling the heat seep through the cheap cardboard. "I don't know. I just know that Saturday night was the first time in years I felt like myself. And I want to see if that was just the night or if it's actually you. And if it's me, then I want to keep seeing you. If you want that too, I do. But Vanessa, I need you to understand something." He leaned forward. "I'm a single dad. Emma comes first. Always. I don't do late nights without planning. I don't do spontaneous trips. I don't miss her school events or soccer games or the 100 little things that make up her life. And I won't apologize for that. I wouldn't want you to. I'm also not rich. I make decent money, but I live in Queens in a 2-bedroom apartment. I drive a used truck. I shop at regular grocery stores and think $50 for dinner is expensive. Your world and my world are pretty different." "I know." "Do you?" "Because it's easy to say you know when we're sitting in a coffee shop. It's different when you're trying to actually fit into each other's lives and realizing nothing lines up." Vanessa thought about her apartment, her car service, her assistant who handled everything, so she never had to think about grocery stores or used trucks or budgets. Liam was right. Their worlds were completely different, but her world was also empty. And his world had pancakes in diners and daughters who thought she was a princess and a kind of realness she'd been missing without knowing it. "I want to try," she said. "I know it's complicated. I know I'm probably going to mess up 100 different ways. But I want to try." Liam studied her, that same careful assessment she'd seen when she first asked him to the gala, like he was measuring not her words, but her intentions. "Okay," he said finally. "Let's try. But slow. No pressure, no expectations, just seeing what happens. I can do slow." "Can you? Because you run a billion-dollar company. I'm guessing you're not used to slow. Then maybe you can teach me." He smiled at that, the kind of smile that made his tired eyes look younger. "Deal. But fair warning, slow with a 7-year-old means a lot of pizza dinners and homework help and Disney movies I've seen 600 times. I've never actually watched a Disney movie." Liam stared at her. "Never? My childhood didn't really include movie nights, and as an adult, I've been too busy building companies to watch cartoons." "Okay, that's actually sad. We're fixing that. You're going to make me watch Disney movies? Emma's going to make you watch Disney movies. I'm just going to provide snacks and moral support." Something in Vanessa's chest loosened at the casual way he said it, like her meeting his daughter was inevitable, not impossible. Like this thing between them might actually have a future. "When?" she asked. "When what?" "When do I meet Emma?" Liam hesitated. "That's big. Meeting the kid that's when things get real." "I know, but if we're trying this, shouldn't we try all of it? Most people wait months before meeting the kid. I'm not most people. I've noticed." He took a sip of his coffee, thinking. "Okay, this Saturday, Emma has a soccer game at 10. You can come watch if you want. Low pressure, public place, easy exit if it's weird. A soccer game. Yeah, 7-year-olds running around a field mostly forgetting they're supposed to kick the ball. It's chaos. But it's her chaos, and I never miss it. What do I wear to a 7-year-old soccer game? Jeans, sneakers if you own them, something you don't mind getting muddy." Vanessa tried to remember the last time she'd worn jeans. "I'll figure it out." "You don't have to do this," Liam said quietly. "I know your life is complicated enough without adding a kid to it. I want to meet her. I want to see your world." "Why?" The question was genuine, not challenging. He really wanted to know. "Because everyone in my world wants something from me," Vanessa said. "They want investments or connections or my name attached to their projects. Even the men I've dated. They wanted the billionaire girlfriend, the trophy, the networking opportunities. But you and Emma, you don't need anything from me. And I think maybe I need that more than I realized." Liam reached across the table and took her hand. His palm was rough from work, warm and solid and real. "We're all kinds of messy, Vanessa. Me and Emma. We have hard days and weird routines and a lot of baggage from the divorce. Don't put us on a pedestal. I'm not. I just want to see if the real version of your life fits with the real version of mine. And if it doesn't, then at least we tried. They finished their coffee talking about smaller things. His work, her current projects, Emma's latest obsession with making friendship bracelets that always ended up tangled. It was easy conversation, the kind Vanessa never had at work, where every word was calculated, every sentence a move in some larger game. When they left the coffee shop, the rain had stopped. The city was wet and gray, reflecting neon in puddles. "I'll text you the details for Saturday," Liam said. "Okay. And Vanessa, don't overthink this. It's just a soccer game. I overthink everything." "I know, but try not to. Emma's pretty good at spotting when adults are being weird." He left with a small wave, heading toward the subway, while Vanessa's driver pulled up right on cue. She watched Liam disappear into the crowd of commuters, his work shirt visible for a moment before the city swallowed him. Maya called before Vanessa even got back to the office. "Well, how was it?" "Good. He's good. That's it? Just good?" "I'm meeting his daughter Saturday." Maya was quiet for a beat too long. "Vanessa, are you sure about this?" "No, but I'm doing it anyway." "You know this is going to complicate everything, right? Your schedule, your image, your entire life that's built around being available to work 24/7. Maybe it's time to complicate things. Just promise me you'll be careful. With him and with yourself. You're not exactly known for healthy work-life balance." "I'll try." "That's not a promise. It's the best I can do." The next 2 days were a blur of preparation that felt absurd, even as Vanessa did it. She bought jeans for the first time in 3 years. She found sneakers in the back of her closet from some corporate wellness initiative she'd ignored. She Googled youth soccer rules and felt ridiculous for caring whether she understood offsides. Maya caught her watching a YouTube video about being a good soccer parent and just shook her head. "You're spiraling," Maya said. "I'm researching." "You're terrified of a 7-year-old. "I'm not terrified. I'm just prepared for a kid's soccer game. It's important to Liam, which means it's important." Maya sat down, her expression shifting from amused to serious. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "What are you really doing here? Because this isn't like you. You don't do complicated. You don't do slow. You definitely don't do kids' soccer games." Vanessa closed her laptop. "I'm trying something different." "Why?" "Because everything I've been doing for the last 6 years has gotten me exactly nowhere. I have money and success and a billion-dollar company, and I come home to an empty apartment every night. I eat takeout over my laptop and fall asleep answering emails and wake up wondering what the point of all of it is. And then I met Liam, and for the first time in years, something felt different, something felt possible. And if it doesn't work out, then I'm exactly where I am now, alone but successful. At least this way I tried." Maya nodded slowly. "Okay, just remember that Emma's a kid. She didn't ask to be part of this. So if you're going to do this, really do it. Don't show up once and disappear when it gets hard." "I won't. Promise me." "I promise." Saturday morning arrived cold and bright. Vanessa dressed carefully in her new jeans and old sneakers, feeling like she was wearing a costume. She pulled her hair back in a ponytail, skipped most of her makeup, and stared at herself in the mirror, trying to recognize the woman looking back. No designer clothes, no expensive jewelry, no armor. Just Vanessa, about to watch a 7-year-old play soccer. The field was in Queens, 40 minutes from Manhattan in traffic. Vanessa's driver looked confused when she gave him the address, but he drove her there without comment. They pulled up to a community park filled with minivans and families and kids running everywhere in 2 big jerseys. Vanessa got out and immediately felt out of place. Everyone here belonged. Parents in team colors, siblings playing on the sidelines. That easy comfort of people who did this every weekend. She stood by her town car in jeans that still had the tags on them 2 days ago, wondering what she'd been thinking. Then she saw Liam standing near the field with a travel mug of coffee, wearing a windbreaker and the same comfortable expression he wore everywhere. He spotted her, smiled, and waved her over. "You came," he said. "I said I would." "I know, but I wasn't sure you'd actually go through with it. This isn't exactly your scene." Where's Emma? Warming up. Come on, I'll introduce you. He led her toward the field where a dozen small girls in purple jerseys were running drills that looked more like organized chaos. One of them, dark hair and a ponytail, gap-toothed smile, too much energy for one small body, broke away and ran toward them. Dad, did you see? I almost scored during warm-ups. Warm-ups don't count, Em. Still almost scored. She noticed Vanessa and stopped, suddenly shy. Hi, Vanessa said. You must be Emma. Are you my dad's friend? I am. The princess one? Liam groaned. Emma, we talked about this. Vanessa's not a princess. She looks like a princess. She has the hair and everything. Emma studied Vanessa with the brutal honesty of children. You're really tall. You're really fast, Vanessa said. Your dad told me you're the best player on your team. He's biased. I'm actually middle range, but I try hard. Emma's coach called her name. I gotta go. Are you staying for the game? I am. Cool, don't expect much. We're not very good. She ran off before Vanessa could respond, already yelling something to a teammate. Liam and Vanessa found spots on the sideline with the other parents. Someone offered Vanessa a folding chair. Someone else asked if she was Emma's aunt. Liam introduced her as my friend Vanessa and left it at that. The game started. It was exactly as Liam had described. Chaos masquerading as soccer. Kids ran in the wrong direction, forgot they were playing, stopped mid-game to tie their shoes. Parents yelled encouragement that ranged from helpful to completely absurd. The ref looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. And Emma was right in the middle of it, running with more enthusiasm than skill, laughing when she fell, high-fiving teammates after every play regardless of whether it worked. She loves this, Vanessa said. She loves being part of something. The actual soccer is secondary. Liam took a sip of his coffee. Her mother never came to games. Too early, too cold, too boring. Emma pretended it didn't matter, but it did. How often do you see her? Emma's mother. Every other weekend. She has Emma Friday through Sunday. It's supposed to be shared custody, but Rebecca works a lot. Usually Emma ends up with her grandparents. Does Emma mind? She doesn't complain, but she notices when her mom misses things. Kids always notice. They watched the game in comfortable silence. Emma's team was losing badly, but nobody seemed to care. At halftime, Emma ran over for water and orange slices, chattering about a player on the other team who was super fast but also super nice about it. Are you having fun? She asked Vanessa between gulps of water. I am, actually. Even though we're losing? Winning isn't everything. That's what my dad says, but I think he's just trying to make me feel better about being bad at sports. You're not bad, Liam said. You're learning. Same thing. Emma's coach called for second half. Okay, gotta go. Watch me score. I'll try, Liam called after her. The second half was more of the same. Emma didn't score, but she assisted on a goal by accidentally kicking the ball to a teammate who actually knew what she was doing. The final score was 7-3, and Emma's team lost. But the kids celebrated anyway because apparently they got popsicles after every game regardless of the outcome. Emma ran over, sweaty and happy and talking a mile a minute about the game, the other team, what flavor popsicle she was going to get. She barely paused for breath, addressing her comments to both Vanessa and Liam like Vanessa had always been there. You're coming for popsicles, right? Emma asked Vanessa. If that's okay. Yeah, everyone's parents come. Well, most parents. Some parents have to work. But you're here, so you should come. The popsicle situation turned out to be the team gathering at a small concession stand where kids swarmed around while parents made small talk. Vanessa found herself standing with Liam and 3 other parents, listening to a conversation about school fundraisers and upcoming games and someone's daughter's birthday party. One of the mothers, Jennifer, blonde and friendly, turned to Vanessa. I don't think we've met. Are you new to the team? I'm just here with Liam, Vanessa said. Oh. Jennifer's eyes lit up with interest. How long have you two been together? We're not together, we're just getting to know each other, Liam finished smoothly. Vanessa, this is Jennifer. Her daughter Mia is Emma's best friend. The one who showed her the article, Jennifer said, not even trying to hide her curiosity. I recognized you from the photo. You're that CEO, right? The tech one? That's me. Wow. And you came to watch kids' soccer. That's She trailed off, clearly trying to figure out how to finish that sentence. Fun, Vanessa supplied. It's fun. Jennifer looked skeptical, but smiled anyway. Well, welcome. Fair warning, these games are addictive. You think you're coming once and suddenly you're here every Saturday screaming about offsides you don't understand. After the popsicles, parents started dispersing. Emma was playing with Mia on the playground equipment, both girls still in their jerseys, sugar-rushed and happy. You survived, Liam said, watching Emma. I did. She's great, Liam. Really great. Yeah, she is. He glanced at Vanessa. So what do you think? Too much suburban chaos for a billionaire CEO? Honestly, I loved it, all of it. The terrible soccer, the popsicles, the other parents being way too intense about a kid's game. It was... She searched for the right word. Normal? Real, it felt real. Emma ran over, breathless. Dad, can Mia come over, please? We want to work on our bracelet making. Sure. Let me check with her mom. He headed toward Jennifer. Emma looked up at Vanessa with open curiosity. Are you my dad's girlfriend? We're friends. My friend Sophia says when grown-ups say they're friends, it means they're actually dating, but being weird about it. Sophia sounds very wise. She has 3 older sisters, so she knows a lot about grown-up stuff. Emma picked at the grass. Is it weird? Having a friend with a kid? Vanessa sat down on the bench, and Emma climbed up next to her. A little bit, Vanessa admitted. I don't know much about kids. I work a lot, and I'm not very good at this. She gestured vaguely at the park, the families, the whole scene. This is just hanging out, Emma said. You just have to show up and not be on your phone too much. That's what my mom does wrong. She's always on her phone even when she's supposed to be paying attention. Does that make you sad? Emma shrugged, a gesture too practiced for a 7-year-old. Sometimes, but Dad's always here, so it's okay. Liam returned with Jennifer and Mia in tow, already discussing carpool arrangements. Vanessa watched him navigate the conversation with ease, the same ease he brought to everything. No performance, no pretense, just present. Eventually, the gathering broke up. Liam loaded Emma and Mia into his truck, then turned to Vanessa. You want to come over? Nothing fancy, just the girls making bracelets and probably a pizza later. You could stay if you want. Vanessa thought about her afternoon. She had emails to answer, contracts to review, a presentation to prepare for Monday. Her usual Saturday involved working from home, maybe a workout, definitely takeout eaten alone. I'd like that, she said. Liam's apartment was exactly what Vanessa expected. Small but tidy, clearly lived in, full of Emma's artwork and school projects and evidence of actual life. The furniture was worn but comfortable. The kitchen was tiny. The living room had a TV that looked 10 years old and a couch that had seen better days. It was nothing like Vanessa's sterile penthouse with its designer furniture and views that cost extra. It was perfect. Emma and Mia disappeared into Emma's room, giggles already starting. Liam headed for the kitchen. Coffee? Water? I think I have some wine somewhere if you want. Water's good. He grabbed 2 glasses, filled them from the tap, handed her one. They stood in his small kitchen, and Vanessa felt something settle in her chest, something that felt like belonging. This is your world, she said. This is my world. Small apartment, kid chaos, pizza on Saturdays. It's not glamorous. It's better than glamorous. It's real. You keep saying that word. Because it matters. All the things in my life look impressive from the outside, but they don't feel like anything. This, she gestured around, this feels like something. Liam set down his glass. Vanessa, I need you to understand something. This isn't a fantasy. This is everyday life. School pickups and homework battles and a 7-year-old who sometimes wakes up with nightmares. It's bills and schedules and constantly being tired. Are you sure you actually want this, or do you just want the idea of it? I don't know yet, Vanessa admitted, but I want to find out. Okay, but I need you to be honest with me and with yourself. Because Emma's already going to get attached if you keep showing up. And if you decide this isn't for you, that's fine, but I need to know before she gets hurt. I won't hurt her. You don't know that. Nobody knows that. His expression was serious. I'm not trying to scare you off. I'm trying to make sure you know what you're getting into. From Emma's room, there was a shriek of laughter. Both of them looked toward the sound. I want to try, Vanessa said. Really try. Not just show up when it's convenient or easy, actually be part of this. That means changing your life, your schedule, your priorities, your definition of what matters. Maybe my definition needs changing. Liam studied her for a long moment. Then he nodded. Okay, let's try. But slow and honest, and if it's not working, we stop before anyone gets more hurt than necessary. Deal. They ordered pizza. The girls emerged from Emma's room with tangled bracelets and big plans for selling them at school. They all ate together at Liam's small kitchen table, Emma and Mia talking over each other, Liam mediating disputes about who got the last slice. Vanessa sat there in her new jeans in a small Queens apartment, eating pizza that cost $12 and tasted better than any $50 entree she'd had recently, and thought, this is what I've been missing. After Mia's mom picked her up, Emma announced she was tired and headed to bed without prompting. Liam went to tuck her in, and Vanessa could hear them talking in the other room, Emma's voice sleepy, Liam's low and steady. When he came back, he found Vanessa washing dishes in his sink. You don't have to do that. I want to. I never do normal things like dishes anymore. Someone else always handles it. Must be nice. It's lonely. He picked up a towel and started drying. They worked in silence, the kind of comfortable quiet that Vanessa never got at home, where silence just meant more room for anxiety to creep in. Emma likes you, Liam said eventually. I like her too. She's smart and funny and completely herself. She is. Got that from her mother, the completely herself part. He set down a plate. Thank you for today. For showing up, for staying, for not running when you saw how chaotic my life is. I should be thanking you for letting me in, for giving me a chance to be part of something that actually matters. It's just pizza and soccer and bracelet making. It's everything I didn't know I needed. Liam turned to face her fully. Vanessa, I'm going to kiss you now, if that's okay. That's okay. He kissed her in his small kitchen with dish soap still on his hands and Emma asleep in the next room. It wasn't dramatic or perfect or anything like the movies. It was just real. Two people finding each other in the middle of complicated lives, trying to figure out if real was enough. When they pulled apart, Vanessa rested her forehead against his. I'm going to mess this up, she said. Probably. I'll mess it up too. We'll both mess up and figure it out as we go. I don't know how to do that. How to be okay with messy. Then I'll teach you. Same way you're teaching me that not everyone from your world is terrible. Deal. They finished the dishes. Vanessa called her driver. At the door, Liam kissed her again, softer this time. Same time next Saturday, Emma has another game. I'll be there. Bring worse clothes. It's supposed to rain. Vanessa laughed. I'll try. She left his apartment building and slid into her waiting car. And somewhere between Queens and Manhattan, between Liam's world and hers, Vanessa Carter realized she was happy. Not performing happiness. Not achieving happiness. Just happy. And it was the most terrifying, wonderful feeling she'd had in years. The following Tuesday, Vanessa left work at 5:30. Maya watched her pack up her laptop with an expression somewhere between shock and concern. Are you sick? Maya asked. No. Why? Because it's 5:30 and you're leaving. You never leave at 5:30. You barely leave before 8. I'm having dinner with Liam and Emma. You're having dinner with them on a Tuesday? A work night. Yes. And you're just leaving work unfinished to go eat chicken nuggets or whatever 7-year-olds eat? Vanessa zipped her bag. I'm leaving work at a reasonable hour to have dinner with people I care about. That's allowed. Is it, though? Because I've worked for you for 5 years, and I've never seen you prioritize anything over work. Ever. Maybe it's time I started. Maya leaned against the door frame. I'm not judging. I'm just surprised. And maybe a little worried you're going to crash and burn trying to be someone you're not. What if I'm trying to be someone I actually am? Someone I forgot how to be? Then I'm happy for you. Just don't lose yourself completely. The driven, ambitious Vanessa built something incredible. Don't throw that away for a guy. I'm not throwing anything away. I'm just making room for something else. The subway ride to Queens felt longer than the town car ever did, but Vanessa had insisted on taking it herself. She couldn't show up to a normal Tuesday dinner in a chauffeur-driven Mercedes. She wore jeans again, getting easier each time, and a sweater that cost more than it should have, but at least looked casual. Liam's building looked different on a weeknight. More lived in, more real. Kids playing in the courtyard, neighbors chatting on stoops, the smell of someone's dinner drifting through open windows. Vanessa climbed the stairs to his third-floor apartment and knocked. Emma answered, wearing pajama pants and a t-shirt with a sparkly unicorn on it. "You came," she said, like Vanessa's arrival was a genuine surprise despite being planned. "I said I would. Lots of grown-ups say things and don't do them. My mom says she'll come to stuff all the time and then doesn't." Vanessa didn't know what to say to that, so she just stepped inside. The apartment smelled like something cooking, garlic and tomato and spices she couldn't name. Liam emerged from the kitchen wearing an apron that said Grill Sergeant with a cartoon burger on it. "You're early," he said. "Traffic was better than expected." "On a Tuesday? In New York?" "That's practically a miracle." He kissed her quickly, casual, like they'd been doing this for years instead of weeks. "I'm making spaghetti. Emma claims my recipe is better than her mom's, but she might just be being nice." "I'm not being nice. Mom's spaghetti tastes like ketchup." "Emma." "What?" "It does. She buys the jar stuff and doesn't even heat it up right." Liam gave Vanessa an apologetic look. "We're working on not criticizing her mother even when she's not here." "I'm not criticizing. I'm observing." Emma grabbed Vanessa's hand. "Come see my room. I cleaned it and everything." Emma's room was an explosion of purple and pink and every art project she'd apparently ever made. Drawings covered the walls, stuffed animals lined the bed, and a bookshelf overflowed with stories about dragons and princesses and kids saving the world. "This is yours?" Emma held up a friendship bracelet, the colors tangled but the effort obvious. "For me." "Yeah, you said you liked the purple one I made at the game, so I made you your own. It's not perfect because I'm still learning the complicated patterns, but Mia says it's pretty good for a beginner." Vanessa took the bracelet, something unexpected catching in her throat. When was the last time someone had made her something? Not bought, not designed, not hired someone to create, actually made with their own hands. "It's perfect," she said. "Can you help me put it on?" Emma tied it carefully around Vanessa's wrist, tongue between her teeth in concentration. When she finished, she stepped back to admire her work. "Now we match. I have the same pattern, see?" She held up her own wrist. "We do match. That means we're friends. That's how it works." From the kitchen, Liam called that dinner was ready. They ate at the same small table from Saturday, Emma chattering about her day at school while Liam served spaghetti. That was actually pretty good. Not restaurant good, but home-cooked good, the kind that tasted like someone cared. "So Vanessa," Emma said between bites, "what do you actually do? Dad says you run a company, but I don't know what that means." "I build technology, software and apps that help businesses work better." "Like games?" "Not exactly. More like tools that help people do their jobs easier." "That sounds boring." "Emma," Liam warned. "What? I'm just saying, games are more fun than tools." Vanessa laughed. "You're right. It is pretty boring compared to games." "So why do you do it?" It was such a simple question, asked with genuine curiosity, but it hit harder than any board member's interrogation ever had. "I guess because I wanted to prove I could," Vanessa said. "I grew up without much money, and everyone said I couldn't build something big, so I decided to show them they were wrong." "Did you?" "Yeah, I did." "And now you're done, right? Since you proved it?" Vanessa looked at Emma, at this 7-year-old who'd accidentally asked the exact question Vanessa had been avoiding for months. "I don't know," she admitted. "I haven't really thought about what comes after proving everyone wrong. Maybe you should do something fun instead, like make games or teach people stuff. My teacher says teaching is the most important job there is." "Your teacher is pretty smart." "She's okay. She gives too much homework, though." After dinner, Emma had homework that apparently needed finishing. Vanessa sat at the table with her while Liam cleaned up, watching Emma tackle math problems with a mix of determination and frustration. "I hate fractions," Emma announced, glaring at her worksheet. "Fractions are useful, though, like if you're splitting a pizza." "I just eat until I'm full. I don't need math for that." "Fair point." They worked through the problems together, Vanessa remembering math she hadn't used since college, Emma complaining the entire time but actually getting the answers right. When they finished, Emma looked at Vanessa with new respect. "You're good at math." "I'm okay at it. Most grown-ups pretend to help, but actually just tell you the answer. You actually helped me figure it out. That's what my mom used to do before she died. Emma's eyes went wide. Your mom died? When I was 16. That's really sad. Do you miss her? Every day. My grandma died last year. I think about her a lot. Dad says that's normal. It is normal. Emma nodded seriously, like they'd just agreed on something important. Then she jumped up, crisis apparently over. Can we watch a movie? Dad said you've never seen any Disney movies, which is basically child abuse. It's not actually child abuse, Em, Liam called from the kitchen. It's close, though. They settled on the couch, Emma between them, the opening credits of some movie about a girl with magical hair starting to play. Liam draped a blanket over all three of them, his arm ending up behind Vanessa on the couch back, casual and comfortable. Halfway through the movie, Emma fell asleep, her head on Vanessa's shoulder. Vanessa froze, unsure what to do, but Liam just smiled and kept watching. Eventually, Vanessa relaxed into it, into the weight of this small person trusting her enough to sleep on her. When the credits rolled, Liam carefully picked Emma up and carried her to bed. Vanessa could hear him in there, the quiet sounds of tucking in, the murmur of good night. He came back and sat beside her on the couch, closer now without Emma between them. She really likes you, he said. I really like her. This is moving fast. Too fast, maybe. Is it? Vanessa looked at him. Because it feels like the first thing in my life that's moving at the right speed. You're saying that now, but Vanessa, this is my life every day. Homework and bedtimes and early mornings. It's not always movie nights and spaghetti dinners. I know that. Do you? Because you're used to controlling everything, scheduling everything around your needs. With Emma, you can't do that. She's not flexible. She's 7. I'm learning. I know you are. I just don't want you to wake up in 6 months and realize this isn't what you actually wanted. Vanessa turned to face him fully. Liam, I spent 6 years building a company. I worked 100-hour weeks. I sacrificed everything, relationships, friendships, sleep, any kind of normal life. And you know what I have to show for it? Money I don't spend, success that feels empty, and an apartment I barely live in. This, she gestured around his small living room, this feels like more than all of that. It's also harder than all of that, because it's not just about you anymore. Emma's already attached. I'm already attached. If you decide this isn't for you, people get hurt. Then I won't decide that. You can't promise that. No, but I can promise to try, really try. Not just show up when it's convenient, actually be present. Liam studied her face. You're serious about this. I'm serious about you, about Emma, about figuring out what my life looks like when it's not just work. He kissed her then, slower than before, like they had time now. Like this wasn't just possibility anymore, but something real taking shape between them. The next few weeks fell into a pattern Vanessa had never experienced before. Tuesday dinners became routine. Saturday soccer games were non-negotiable. Emma's school play happened on a Thursday, and Vanessa left a board meeting early to make it, sitting in an auditorium full of parents watching 7-year-olds murder a production of Peter Pan. Emma forgot half her lines, but improvised wildly, and Vanessa found herself actually proud, which was a bizarre feeling to have about someone else's kid doing something objectively chaotic. Work suffered. Not catastrophically, but noticeably. Vanessa missed emails that used to get answered immediately. She pushed meetings to make soccer games. She said no to evening events that would interfere with dinner plans. The board noticed. Richard Morrison cornered her after a meeting in early December, his expression concerned in the way that meant criticism was coming dressed as care. Vanessa, can we talk? Sure. I've been hearing things about you missing meetings, leaving early, being less available. I'm still getting everything done. Are you? Because the Chen deal is stalling, the product launch got pushed back again, and you weren't at the investor dinner last week. I had a prior commitment. What commitment is more important than a room full of investors who've put millions into this company? Vanessa thought about Emma's school play, about sitting in that auditorium next to Liam, watching his daughter absolutely butcher her lines with complete confidence. A personal one, she said. Richard's expression hardened. Vanessa, I've supported you from the beginning. I believed in you when others didn't, but you need to be careful. This company requires total commitment. You can't build something this big with one foot out the door. I'm not, aren't you? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're checking out. And if you're checking out, the board needs to know. We need to make plans. Plans for what? For leadership that's actually present. The words landed like a slap. Vanessa felt her spine straighten, her professional armor clicking into place. I have given this company everything for 6 years, every hour, every sacrifice, every piece of myself. I built this. Me. Not the board, not the investors. Me. And now you're unbuilding it for what? A relationship? Some guy you've known for a month? That's none of your business. It is when it affects the company. Richard leaned forward. Look, I get it. You're young. You want a life outside work. That's normal. But you can't have both, Vanessa. Not at this level. You're either all in or you're out. That's not true. Isn't it? Name one woman CEO at our level who has a normal family life. Just one. Vanessa opened her mouth and realized she couldn't. Every successful woman she knew had either sacrificed relationships for career or career for relationships. Nobody had both. Nobody got to be ambitious and present at the same time. I have to go, she said. Vanessa, I said I have to go. She left the office at 6, earlier than ever before, her phone already buzzing with emails she wasn't answering. She took the subway to Queens, climbed the stairs to Liam's apartment, and knocked harder than necessary. He opened the door, took one look at her face, and pulled her inside. What happened? The board thinks I'm checking out, that I'm destroying everything I built for... She gestured between them. For this. Are you? I don't know. Maybe. Does it matter? Of course it matters. That company is your life's work. My life's work has been making me miserable. Has it? Or have you just been miserable and blaming it on work? Vanessa stared at him. Whose side are you on? Yours. Which means telling you the truth even when you don't want to hear it. Liam guided her to the couch. Emma was at a friend's house, the apartment quiet in a way it rarely was. Talk to me. What's really going on? I don't know how to do both. Be the CEO everyone expects, and be present here with you and Emma. Richard's right. Women at my level don't have normal lives. They don't leave early for school plays or miss investor dinners for Tuesday spaghetti. They sacrifice everything else for the work. Is that what you want? To sacrifice everything? I don't know what I want anymore. A month ago, I knew exactly who I was and what mattered. Now everything's confused, because you're actually living instead of just working. Maybe I was better at just working. Liam was quiet for a moment. Then he said, You know what I think? I think you're scared. You spent 6 years building walls and now someone's asking you to take them down, and that's terrifying. So you're looking for reasons to run. I'm not running. Aren't you? The board pushes back and immediately you're here questioning everything. Because maybe they're right. Maybe I can't do both. Or maybe you can, but it requires actually changing things instead of just adding me and Emma to your existing impossible schedule. Vanessa stood, pacing the small living room. What am I supposed to change? I'm the CEO. The company needs me. Does it need you 80 hours a week? Or have you just convinced yourself it does because that's easier than building an actual life? You don't understand the pressure. You're right, I don't. I'm a plumber. I work my hours and go home. But Vanessa, you employ thousands of people. You have executives and managers and assistants. You've built an entire infrastructure to run this company. Maybe it's time to actually trust it. And if it falls apart without me, then it wasn't built as well as you thought. But I doubt that. I think you built something incredible and now you're terrified to let go even a little bit because control is all you've had for so long. Vanessa stopped pacing. This is too hard. What is? This, us, trying to fit two completely different lives together. It's only hard because you're fighting it. You're trying to keep your old life exactly the same while adding this new one. That doesn't work. So what am I supposed to do? I don't know. That's not my decision to make. Liam stood, facing her. But I'll tell you what you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to make yourself miserable trying to be someone you're not. Whether that's the CEO who works every hour or the perfect partner who never chooses work. You need to figure out who you actually want to be. And if I don't know, then you figure it out. But you don't get to blame me or Emma or the board or anyone else. This is your life, Vanessa. You get to choose how to live it. Vanessa felt tears threatening, which was ridiculous. She didn't cry. She hadn't cried in years, not since her mother's funeral. But standing in Liam's living room, feeling the weight of impossible choices, she felt something crack. "I don't know how to choose," she whispered. "Then don't. Not today. Just breathe. Be here. We'll figure out the rest later." He pulled her into a hug, solid and steady and exactly what she needed. Vanessa let herself lean into it, let herself stop trying to fix everything for just a moment. They ordered Chinese food and ate it on the couch. Vanessa's phone buzzed constantly with work emails, but she ignored them. When Emma came home full of stories about her friend's new puppy, Vanessa listened like the emails didn't exist. Later, after Emma was asleep and Liam walked Vanessa to the subway, he said, "You don't have to figure everything out tonight. Just take it one day at a time." "I'm not good at one day at a time." "I know, but maybe that's something else you could learn." The subway ride back to Manhattan felt longer than usual. Vanessa stared at her phone, at the 63 unread emails, at the calendar full of commitments that suddenly felt suffocating. Maya had texted, "Where are you? Board is asking questions." Vanessa typed back, "Tell them I'll be in tomorrow. We need to talk about delegation." "Delegation? Who are you and what have you done with my boss?" "Very funny. I'm serious. Set up a meeting with the exec team. Time to start trusting the infrastructure I built." "Are you okay?" "I'm trying to be." That night, alone in her apartment, Vanessa did something she hadn't done in years. She opened a bottle of wine, sat on her couch without her laptop, and just thought. About who she'd been before the company consumed everything. About the girl who'd wanted to change the world, not just prove people wrong. About what success actually meant versus what she'd been chasing. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. "Hello? Vanessa Carter?" A woman's voice, sharp and professional. "Speaking. This is Rebecca Brooks, Liam's ex-wife. We need to talk about my daughter." Vanessa's stomach dropped. "Is Emma okay?" "She's fine, but she won't stop talking about you. Her dad's new girlfriend who comes to soccer games and helps with homework and watches Disney movies. And I need to know what your intentions are." "My intentions?" "With my ex-husband and my daughter, because Emma's already been through one divorce. I won't let her get attached to someone who's just going to leave when things get complicated." "I'm not going to leave." "Really? Because Liam told me who you are, what you do. You're a billionaire CEO, Vanessa. What are you doing playing house with a plumber and his kid?" The question was harsh, but not unfair. Vanessa had been asking herself the same thing for weeks. "I'm not playing house. I care about them. For now. But what happens when your real life calls? When work needs you? When being with someone normal stops being interesting?" "That's not—" "I was married to Liam for 6 years. I love him, even now. And I love my daughter more than anything. But I couldn't do it. Couldn't balance being who I needed to be professionally with being who they needed me to be personally. So I had to choose. And if you're anything like me, ambitious, driven, used to putting yourself first, you're going to have to choose too." "Maybe I don't have to choose. Maybe I can find a balance." Rebecca laughed, sharp and bitter. "Good luck with that. I tried. It destroyed my marriage and made me a part-time parent. So forgive me if I'm skeptical that you'll somehow manage what I couldn't." "I'm not you." "No, you're more successful, which means you have more to lose. Which means when push comes to shove, you'll choose the same way I did, and Emma will be the one who gets hurt." "I won't let that happen." That's what I told myself too. Look, I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm trying to protect my daughter. So I'm asking you, are you serious about this? About them? Or are you just figuring things out and using my family as your experiment? Vanessa thought about the last few weeks, about Tuesday dinners and Saturday games and Emma's bracelet still on her wrist, about Liam's kiss in his kitchen and the way Emma had fallen asleep on her shoulder. "I'm serious," she said. "I know it's fast, I know it's complicated, but I'm serious." "Then prove it, not to me, to them. Show up, be present, and if you can't do that, walk away now before Emma loves you too much to let go." Rebecca hung up before Vanessa could respond. Vanessa sat in her silent apartment, the city glittering outside her windows, and wondered if Rebecca was right. If ambitious women like them couldn't have both. If choosing meant loss no matter which direction you picked. Her phone buzzed. "Liam. You okay? You seemed off when you left." "Rebecca called me." "What?" When? Just now. She wanted to know my intentions. I'm sorry, she has no right. She has every right. Emma's her daughter. She's protecting her. From you? From getting hurt when I inevitably choose work over them. That's what she did. That's what she thinks I'll do too. Liam was quiet for a moment. What do you think? I think she might be right. Vanessa, I want this, Liam. You and Emma and this life we're building. But I also want my company, the work I built. And I don't know if I can have both. So figure it out. How? I don't know, but you're brilliant and determined and you've solved harder problems than this, so solve it. Or don't. But stop waiting for someone to give you permission to want what you want. After they hung up, Vanessa pulled out her laptop. Not to work, but to actually look at her calendar, her commitments, her life as it currently existed. She looked at what mattered and what was just habit, what required her specifically and what she'd been doing because she didn't trust anyone else, what brought value and what just filled time. And slowly, carefully, she started making changes. The next morning, Maya walked into Vanessa's office to find her already there, a pot of coffee brewing and a list on her desk. You're early, Maya said. We need to make some changes. What kind of changes? The kind where I stop pretending I have to do everything myself and start trusting the team I built. Vanessa handed her the list. I want to delegate these responsibilities, effective immediately. Maya scanned the list, her eyes getting wider. Vanessa, this is half your job. This is half of what I've been doing, not half of what I should be doing. I hired good people. Time to let them do their jobs. The board is going to freak out. Let them. I'm still CEO. I'm still making the big decisions. I'm just not drowning in minutiae that other people can handle. Why now? Because I'm tired of being miserable. Because I built something incredible, and I barely enjoy it because I'm too busy controlling every detail. Because I met someone who makes me want to actually live my life instead of just working it. Maya sat down slowly. You're really doing this. I'm really doing this. The board might push back. Then I'll push harder. This is my company, Maya. I get to decide how to run it. Over the next 2 weeks, Vanessa restructured her entire life. She delegated the operations work she'd been clinging to. She empowered her executives to make decisions without her approval. She set boundaries. No emails after 7 p.m., no meetings before 9 a.m., Saturdays reserved for Emma's games. The board fought her. Richard Morrison especially, arguing that stepping back meant stepping down. Vanessa stood her ground. I built this company from nothing, she told them in a meeting that got heated. I know every piece of it. And I'm telling you, it doesn't need me micromanaging every detail. It needs me thinking strategically, making big decisions, leading direction. That's what a CEO does. The rest is just ego and fear. And what if you're wrong? Richard demanded. What if the company suffers? Then I'll fix it, but it won't, because I hired brilliant people and built incredible systems. Time to trust them. She got her way, barely. But she got it. Life shifted. Vanessa still worked hard, still cared deeply about the company, but she also made it to Tuesday dinners every week. She never missed a soccer game. When Emma's class did a project about important women, Emma chose Vanessa, and Vanessa sat in a classroom full of 7-year-olds talking about building companies and following dreams. It wasn't smooth. Some days the balance felt impossible. Some days Vanessa wanted to grab control back and work until midnight. Some days Emma had meltdowns about homework, and Vanessa had no idea how to help, and Liam was working late, and everything felt too hard. But they figured it out, together. Messily, imperfectly, but together. One Saturday in late December, after a soccer game where Emma's team actually won for once, they went back to Liam's apartment for celebratory hot chocolate. Emma was still buzzing with energy, recounting every play in excruciating detail, while Liam made her favorite with extra marshmallows. Vanessa's phone rang. The office. She almost answered out of habit, then stopped. You can take it, Liam said. I don't need to. Vanessa, you don't have to prove anything. If work needs you, work can wait. She silenced the phone. This is where I want to be. Later, after Emma crashed from her sugar high and fell asleep on the couch, Liam and Vanessa stood in his small kitchen washing mugs. I talked to Rebecca, he said quietly. When? Earlier this week. She told me she called you. She did. She wasn't wrong about what she said. About ambitious women having to choose? About the risk I am. To Emma, to you. Liam dried a mug carefully. Want to know what I told her? What? That you're the first person since the divorce who's made me want to try again. That Emma lights up when you're around. That you're the first woman I've dated who actually shows up, consistently, even when it's hard. He set down the mug. And that, yeah, there's risk, but there's always risk. At least this risk feels worth it. Vanessa felt that crack in her chest again, the one that let light in. I'm going to mess up, she said. I'm going to choose wrong sometimes. Work will pull at me, and I'll struggle with balance, and I'll probably disappoint you both at some point. I know, and I'm going to be too rigid about schedules sometimes. And Emma's going to have bad days, and my ex-wife is going to judge your choices. We're all going to mess up. But we'll figure it out? We'll figure it out. Emma stirred on the couch, mumbling something about dragons, then settled back into sleep. She really does love you, Liam said softly. I love her too, both of you. It was the first time she'd said it out loud. The words felt huge and terrifying and absolutely true. Liam smiled. I love you too. Even when you're overthinking everything and trying to solve problems that don't need solving. I can't help it. It's who I am. I know. I'm hoping Emma and I can teach you how to just be sometimes, without solving or fixing or controlling. That's going to take a while. Good thing we have time. They stood together in his small kitchen, this billion-dollar CEO and this working-class plumber, building something that made no sense on paper but felt right in every way that mattered. And for the first time in 6 years, Vanessa Carter wasn't just successful. She was happy. The invitation arrived in March, 6 months after Vanessa had walked out of the Metropolitan Club with a plumber who'd somehow changed everything. This time, Maya didn't warn her not to open it. She just set it on Vanessa's desk with a knowing look and waited. Vanessa picked up the cream envelope, already knowing what it would say. The Preston Foundation Spring Gala, annual event, black tie. Jonathan would be there with Elizabeth, probably announcing some new initiative or expansion, basking in the kind of inherited relevance he'd always taken for granted. Are you going? Maya asked. I don't know. Should I? That's not for me to decide, but I will say you're different now than you were in November. You're not the same person who needed to prove something. Vanessa set down the invitation. Maya was right. The woman who desperately asked her plumber to be her fake date felt like someone from another lifetime. That Vanessa had been running from pain, performing strength, measuring her worth by other people's opinions. This Vanessa, the one who left work at reasonable hours, who knew the names of Emma's classmates, who'd learned that happiness wasn't something you achieved but something you chose, didn't need to prove anything to anyone. But still, the invitation sat there, a question she couldn't quite ignore. That night at dinner, Tuesday spaghetti had become sacred ritual. Emma noticed Vanessa was distracted. You're doing the thing, Emma said, twirling pasta on her fork with more enthusiasm than skill. What thing? The thinking too hard thing. Your face gets all scrunchy and you stop listening. Liam hid a smile behind his water glass. She's not wrong. You do get scrunchy. I don't get scrunchy. You absolutely do, Liam said. What's going on? Vanessa hesitated, then pulled out the invitation. Jonathan's gala, in May. I'm trying to decide if I want to go. Emma grabbed the invitation before Vanessa could stop her, reading it with the careful concentration of a 7-year-old tackling big words. Who's Jonathan? My ex-boyfriend, the one from the first gala. The mean one who made you sad? He wasn't mean exactly, just not right for me. So why would you go to his party? It was such a simple question, delivered with the blunt honesty only kids could manage. Why would she go? I don't know, Vanessa admitted. Maybe to show him I'm okay now, better than okay. Emma considered this seriously. But you already know you're okay, so who are you really showing? Liam choked on his water. Emma, wow, that's actually really insightful. I'm smart. Ms. Peterson says so. Emma returned to her spaghetti, crisis solved in her mind. But the question stuck with Vanessa for days. Who was she really showing? Because Emma was right. Vanessa already knew she'd moved on. She woke up happy now, actually happy, not just successful. She had dinner with people she loved. She went to soccer games and helped with homework, and watched terrible children's movies without checking her email. Her life looked nothing like it had 6 months ago, and that was exactly the point. So why did she care what Jonathan thought? Friday afternoon, Vanessa's phone rang. Rebecca. They'd developed an uneasy truce over the past few months. Rebecca was civil when they crossed paths at Emma's school events. She'd even thanked Vanessa once for helping Emma with a science project that Rebecca had been too busy to handle. But they weren't friends. Probably never would be. Rebecca, hi. I need a favor. Rebecca's voice was tight. I have a work crisis. Major client presentation Monday that I can't miss. It's my weekend with Emma, but I need to prep. Can Liam take her? I'm sure he can. Have you asked him? He's not answering. There's a water main break in Midtown. He's working emergency overtime. Rebecca paused. Can you take her? Just for the weekend. I'll pick her up Monday after school. Vanessa's mind raced. A whole weekend. Not just Tuesday dinners or supervised soccer games, full parental responsibility for 48 hours. I don't know if I can. Please, I know we're not close. I know I've been hard on you, but Emma trusts you, and I'm asking. The vulnerability in Rebecca's voice decided it. This was the woman who'd chosen career over marriage, who lived with that choice every day, who was now asking Vanessa, the woman dating her ex-husband, to help with their daughter. Okay, Vanessa said. I'll pick her up from school. What does she need? Everything's at Liam's. Just thank you. Really? Vanessa called Liam immediately. He answered over the sound of rushing water and someone yelling in the background. Can't talk long. What's up? I'm taking Emma for the weekend. Rebecca has a work thing and can't reach you. Silence. Then, a whole weekend? Is that okay? I know it's sudden. It's more than okay. It's... Vanessa, are you sure? That's a lot. I'm sure. We'll be fine. You've never had her overnight before. Then it's about time, right? She could hear his smile through the phone. Yeah, it is. Keys are under the mat. Everything you need is there. Call me if anything goes wrong. We'll be fine. Go fix your water main. I love you. Love you too. Vanessa hung up and stared at her calendar. She had a meeting Saturday morning she'd need to cancel. Dinner planned Saturday night that would have to move. Sunday brunch with a potential investor that definitely couldn't happen with a 7-year-old in tow. 6 months ago, she would have panicked, found a way to do everything, scheduled Emma around work, made it all fit somehow. Instead, she opened her laptop and started rescheduling. The meeting could wait. The dinner could move. The investor would understand or he wouldn't. And either way, it didn't matter more than this. She picked Emma up from school at 3, finding her in the pickup line surrounded by other kids and frazzled parents. Emma's face lit up when she saw Vanessa. Mom said you're in charge this weekend. I am. Is that okay? Are you kidding? This is great. We can stay up late and watch movies, and you can help me with my book report, and we can make pancakes and breathe them. I'm too excited to breathe. They took the subway to Liam's apartment. Emma chattered the entire way about her day, her friends, a boy named Tyler who'd gotten in trouble for putting glue in someone's hair. Vanessa listened, asked questions, and tried not to think about the fact that she was now solely responsible for keeping a small human alive for 48 hours. At the apartment, Emma immediately changed into her comfort clothes, leggings, and an oversized t-shirt that had definitely been Liam's once, and announced she was hungry. What do you want? Vanessa asked, opening the fridge to find it disappointingly empty. Liam hadn't been expecting this either. Grilled cheese. Dad makes the best grilled cheese. I've never made grilled cheese. Emma stared at her. Never? Never. How do you eat lunch? I usually have my assistant order something. That's so weird. Okay, I'll teach you. It's easy. And so Vanessa found herself taking cooking lessons from a 7-year-old, learning that the key to good grilled cheese was butter on the outside of the bread and not too much heat. They burned the first one and undercooked the second, but the third came out perfect. See, Emma said proudly, you're learning. They ate at Liam's small table, Emma swinging her legs and talking about her book report on a story about a girl who saved her village from a dragon. Do you think that could really happen? Emma asked. A dragon attacking a village? No, a girl saving everyone, in real life. Vanessa thought about her own life, about building a company everyone said she couldn't build, proving wrong every person who doubted her, saving herself from a future that would have crushed her. Yeah, she said. I think girls can save themselves all the time. They just do it differently than in stories. How do they do it? By being brave even when they're scared, by building things that matter, by deciding who they want to be and then becoming that person, even if it's hard. Emma nodded seriously. Like you did. Like I'm trying to do. After dinner, Emma had homework. Math problems that made her groan and reading that made her eyes glaze over. Vanessa sat with her through all of it, helping when asked, staying quiet when Emma needed to figure things out herself. Around 8, Emma announced she was ready for bed. Vanessa helped her brush her teeth. Apparently there was a whole routine involving a timer and a special toothbrush, and tucked her in under covers covered in stars. "Can you read to me?" Emma asked, holding up a book about dragons that they'd apparently been working through for weeks. "Your dad usually does this, but he's not here. You are." So Vanessa read, stumbling over fantasy names and dragon terminology, while Emma corrected her pronunciation and added commentary about which parts were her favorite. 2 chapters in, Emma's eyes started drooping. "Vanessa?" she said sleepily. "Yeah?" "I'm glad you're here. I'm glad Dad found you." "I'm glad too, sweetheart." "Are you going to stay forever?" The question caught Vanessa off guard. "What do you mean?" "Mom left. She didn't want to leave, but she did anyway because work was more important. Dad says it wasn't like that, but I know it was. So I'm asking, are you going to leave too?" Vanessa's heart cracked. This small person asking the question that mattered most, needing honesty more than comfort. "I'm not going anywhere," Vanessa said. "I promise." "But what if work needs you?" "Then work will have to wait, because you and your dad matter more." "Really?" "Really." Emma smiled, satisfied, and closed her eyes. Within minutes, she was asleep. Vanessa stayed there for a while, watching this kid who'd somehow become hers, feeling the weight of the promise she'd just made. She meant it, every word. But meaning it and living it were different things, and she knew Rebecca had meant it too once. The difference, Vanessa thought, was that she'd learned the lesson Rebecca hadn't figured out until too late. That success without people to share it with was just expensive loneliness. That building an empire meant nothing if you came home to emptiness every night. Saturday morning, Emma woke her at 7 by jumping on the couch where Vanessa had fallen asleep watching the news. "We're making pancakes, remember? You promised." "I don't remember promising." "You said maybe, which is basically promising." They made pancakes. Well, Emma made pancakes while Vanessa followed instructions and tried not to burn anything. They came out lumpy and misshapen and absolutely perfect. After breakfast, Emma had a play date with Mia. Vanessa texted Jennifer to confirm, then realized she had no idea how play dates worked, or how long they lasted, or what parents were supposed to do. Jennifer saved her with a detailed text explaining everything, ending with, "First time solo? You're doing great. Trust me, we're all making it up as we go." While Emma played, Vanessa sat in Jennifer's living room with 2 other mothers, drinking coffee and half listening to a conversation about school fundraisers and which teacher was retiring. 6 months ago, this would have felt foreign. Now, it just felt normal. "How's it going with Liam?" Jennifer asked during a lull in fundraiser debate. "Good. Really good." "Emma seems happier. She talks about you constantly." "Does she?" "Oh yeah. Vanessa helped me with my homework. Vanessa came to my game. Vanessa taught me about building companies. You're kind of her hero." Vanessa felt something warm spread through her chest. "She's kind of mine too." That afternoon, they went to the park. Emma played while Vanessa sat on a bench, answering a few urgent emails, but mostly just watching. At some point, Emma ran over, sweaty and happy. "Can we get ice cream?" "Sure." "Even though it's cold?" "Ice cream is good any temperature." They got ice cream from a truck, eating it on another bench while Emma swung her legs and chattered about everything and nothing. Other kids played nearby, parents pushed strollers. Life happened, normal and beautiful and completely unremarkable. Vanessa's phone rang. The office. She looked at it, looked at Emma, and sent it to voicemail. "You didn't answer," Emma observed. "I didn't need to. I'm exactly where I want to be." Saturday night, they ordered pizza and watched a movie Emma had seen 6 times but insisted was still good. Halfway through, Vanessa's phone buzzed. A text from Jonathan. "Saw you got the invitation. Hope you'll come. Would love to catch up." Emma noticed her face change. What's wrong? Nothing, just someone from my old life. The mean boyfriend? He wasn't mean, just wrong for who I am now. So don't go to his party. It's more complicated than that. Why? And there it was again. Why? The simplest question that cut through all the complexity Vanessa kept creating. Why would she go to Jonathan's gala? Not to prove anything. She'd already proved what mattered. Not to show him her new life. He didn't get to be part of it. Not to demonstrate she'd moved on. She had, completely. She'd go because she thought she should. Because saying no felt like hiding. Because some part of her still measured her worth by whether she could face the people who doubted her. But sitting on Liam's couch with Emma, watching a kids' movie and eating pizza, Vanessa realized she didn't need to face anyone. She'd already won by choosing a different game entirely. She texted back, "Thanks, but I'll pass. Hope it's a great event." His response came immediately. "Really? After everything?" "After everything, I have better places to be." She blocked his number and set down her phone. "Good," Emma said, even though she couldn't have read the texts. His party sounds boring anyway. Sunday, Liam came home exhausted, his clothes still damp from emergency plumbing, but his face lit up when he saw them making grilled cheese for lunch. "You survived," he said to Vanessa. "We more than survived. We thrived." "She taught me to make grilled cheese," Emma announced, "and we went to the park and got ice cream and watched Frozen, and I showed her my book report, and she said girls can save themselves without dragons." Liam raised his eyebrows at Vanessa. "Been philosophical, have we?" She asked good questions. I gave honest answers. He kissed her, not caring that he was gross from work, just needing the contact. "I love you." "Love you too. Go shower. You smell like sewage." Romantic. After he showered and Emma was playing in her room, Liam and Vanessa sat together on the couch, her feet in his lap, the apartment quiet. "How was it really?" he asked. "The whole weekend?" "Terrifying. Wonderful. I burned pancakes and had no idea what I was doing half the time and kept worrying I'd mess something up." "But you didn't." "No, I didn't." She paused. "Jonathan invited me to his spring gala." "Are you going?" "No, I was going to, maybe, to prove I'd moved on or show him my new life or whatever. But Emma asked why I'd go to a party thrown by someone mean, and I realized I couldn't give her a good answer, so I said no." Liam was quiet for a moment. "That must have been hard, saying no to something you thought you needed to do." "It was easier than I expected, because I realized I don't need his validation anymore. I don't need anyone's validation. I just need this." She gestured around the small apartment. "You, Emma, this life we're building. That's enough." "Is it? Really?" "What do you mean?" "I mean, you gave up a lot to be here. The all-consuming career, the fancy events, the whole billionaire CEO lifestyle. And you're sitting in a tiny apartment in Queens with a plumber and his kid. No judgment, but are you sure you won't wake up one day and regret this?" Vanessa thought about it. Really thought about it. "You want to know what I regret?" she said. "I regret the years I spent building something impressive instead of building something meaningful. I regret choosing work over every relationship until work was all I had left. I regret measuring my success by how miserable I was willing to be." She met his eyes. "I don't regret this. Any of it. Even the hard parts. There will be more hard parts." "I know. But Liam, I'd rather struggle through hard parts with you than succeed at something that leaves me empty." He pulled her closer. "We should probably talk about next steps." "What kind of next steps?" "The kind where we figure out if this is temporary or permanent. If you're going to keep your apartment in Manhattan, or if maybe we find a place together. If Emma calls you by your name, or if eventually there's something else." Vanessa's heart started racing. "Are you asking what I think you're asking?" "I'm asking if you want to build a life together. Really together. Not just Tuesday dinners and weekend sleepovers. Actually combined lives." "That's big." "I know." "Emma would have opinions. Definitely." "Your ex-wife would probably have opinions too." "Absolutely." "And my board would lose their minds if I moved to Queens." "Let them." Vanessa looked around the apartment. Small, worn, nothing fancy, but filled with life in a way her penthouse had never been. filled with Emma's artwork and Liam's tools and the comfortable chaos of people actually living instead of just existing. "Okay," she said. "Okay? Let's build a life together, really together." Liam kissed her, and from her room, Emma yelled, "Are you guys being gross? Because I can hear you and it's weird." They both laughed, breaking apart. "She's going to make this interesting," Liam said. "She makes everything interesting." The next few months were a study in controlled chaos. Vanessa didn't move to Queens. They compromised on a place in Brooklyn that was bigger than Liam's apartment but smaller than Vanessa's penthouse. Somewhere between their two worlds, literally and metaphorically. Emma helped pick her room, insisting on purple walls and space for all her books. Liam set up his workspace in the garage. Vanessa created a home office but made sure it had a door she could close. The board reacted exactly as expected. Richard Morrison called an emergency meeting to discuss leadership concerns. Vanessa showed up prepared. "I'm moving to Brooklyn," she told them. "I'm delegating more responsibilities to the executive team I hired for exactly this reason. I'm working reasonable hours and maintaining work-life balance. And if any of you have a problem with that, I invite you to find another CEO who's grown this company 300% in 6 years." "It's not about your performance," Richard started. "It's exactly about my performance. And my performance has been exceptional. I've delivered on every goal, exceeded every projection, and built something incredible. Now I'm going to do that while also having a life. If you can't support that, the door's open." Nobody walked out. The wedding happened in September, small and simple, in a community garden in Brooklyn. Emma was the flower girl and took her job very seriously, scattering petals with the concentration of a surgeon. Rebecca came, civil and even almost warm, telling Vanessa quietly, "Take care of them. They deserve someone who will." "I will," Vanessa promised. "I am." The guest list was small. Maya and a few colleagues from work, some of Liam's plumber friends who gave toasts that were equal parts touching and inappropriate, Emma's classmates who mostly cared about the cake, and a handful of people who actually mattered. No Jonathan, no society reporters, no performance, just real people celebrating something real. During the reception, held in the same garden with string lights and a playlist Emma had helped create, Vanessa found herself standing with Rebecca while Emma played with the other kids. "Can I ask you something?" Rebecca said. "Sure." "How did you do it?" "Balance everything?" "Because I couldn't. I tried, and I failed, and I lost my marriage." Vanessa thought about the last year of her life, the changes she'd made, the person she'd become. "I stopped trying to balance," she said. "Balance implies everything gets equal time, equal priority. That's impossible. Instead, I decided what actually mattered, and I built my life around that. Some days work needs more. Some days Emma needs more. Some days I need more. It's not balanced. It's just intentional. And work doesn't suffer. Work is different now. I'm not in every meeting or controlling every decision. I hired people I trust, and I let them do their jobs. The company's doing better than ever, actually. Turns out I was the bottleneck." Rebecca laughed, sharp and bitter. "I wish someone had told me that 5 years ago." "Would you have listened?" "Probably not. I had to lose everything to learn it." She looked at Emma, spinning in her flower girl dress. "Take care of her. She's the best thing I ever did, even if I couldn't be what she needed." "You're still her mom. That matters." "I know. I'm trying to be better at it, showing up more, being present. It's hard, though, rewiring yourself after years of choosing wrong." "It is hard, but you're doing it. That count." Later, dancing with Liam while Emma attempted to teach other kids her made-up dance moves, Vanessa thought about the journey that had brought her here. From that desperate phone call to her plumber to this moment, married and happy and completely transformed. "What are you thinking about?" Liam asked. "How different everything is." "Good different?" "Best different." "No regrets?" "Not a single one." A year after the wedding, Vanessa made a decision that shocked everyone except the people who actually knew her. She stepped down as CEO. Not because she was failing, not because the board forced her out, because she'd built something incredible, and now she wanted to build something different. She stayed on the board, stayed involved in strategy, but handed daily operations to her COO, a brilliant woman who'd been ready for years but never got the chance because Vanessa couldn't let go. "What are you going to do?" Maya asked when Vanessa told her. "I'm going to start a foundation, teaching girls from backgrounds like mine, how to code, how to build companies, how to believe they can change the world. I'm going to mentor and invest and actually use everything I learned to help people instead of just building my empire bigger. That's amazing. But Vanessa, are you sure this company is your baby? It was my baby. Now it's a teenager that doesn't need me hovering. Time to let it grow up. The foundation launched in the spring. Vanessa worked from her home office most days, consulting with the company a few hours a week, spending the rest of her time building something that actually felt meaningful. She was home when Emma got back from school. She made it to every soccer game, every school play, every parent-teacher conference. She had dinner with her family every night and didn't check her email until after Emma was asleep. She was present, finally, actually present. One Saturday in May, almost 2 years after that first gala, Vanessa sat in the stands at Emma's soccer game next to Liam watching their daughter, because Emma was theirs now, officially, adoption papers finalized 3 months ago, run around the field with more enthusiasm than skill. She's terrible at this, Liam observed. She really is, but she loves it. That's all that matters. Vanessa's phone buzzed, an email from an old colleague forwarding her an article about Jonathan's foundation. Apparently there'd been a scandal, misuse of funds, investigation pending. The golden boy who'd inherited his relevance was finally facing consequences. She could have felt vindicated, could have felt like this proved she'd been right all along, that leaving him was the best decision she'd ever made. Instead, she just felt sorry for him. Sorry that he'd never learned what actually mattered. Sorry that he'd spent his whole life performing instead of living. She deleted the email and put her phone away. "Everything okay?" Liam asked. "Everything's perfect." And it was. Not because her life was perfect. It wasn't. Emma still had meltdowns about homework. Liam still worked long hours sometimes. Vanessa still struggled with letting go of control. They fought about finances and parenting and whose turn it was to do dishes, but they fought and made up and kept choosing each other every single day. That night, after Emma was asleep and the dishes were done and they were collapsed on the couch in their Brooklyn apartment, Liam turned to Vanessa. "Do you ever miss it? The old life, the power and the money and everyone knowing your name. I still have money and power, and people still know my name. You know what I mean." Vanessa thought about it honestly. "Sometimes I miss the simplicity of it. When success was measurable and clear, build the company, make the money, prove everyone wrong. Now success is messier. It's Emma's report card and family dinners and foundation girls learning to code. It's harder to measure. But is it better? It's so much better, because the old success was just mine. This success is ours, shared, real. Even though you gave up being CEO, I didn't give up anything. I chose something better. There's a difference. People probably think you failed, that you couldn't handle it. Let them think that. I know the truth. I didn't fail. I succeeded at the wrong thing, and then had the courage to start over. That's not failure. That's growth." Emma called from her room, something about a nightmare and needing water. Liam started to get up, but Vanessa stopped him. "I've got it." She went to Emma's room, sat on the edge of the bed, listened to a rambling story about dragons and math tests, and something scary she couldn't quite explain. She brought water, turned on the nightlight, and stayed until Emma fell back asleep. Standing in the doorway, watching this kid who'd become hers in every way that mattered, Vanessa thought about the woman she'd been 2 years ago. The one who'd been so desperate to prove she was fine that she'd asked a stranger to a gala. The one who'd measured her worth by her bank account and her hurt by her ex's engagement. That woman had been successful, but miserable. Accomplished, but empty. She'd had everything except the things that actually mattered. This woman, the one standing in a Brooklyn apartment at midnight checking on her daughter after a nightmare, had so much less on paper and so much more in reality. She'd learned that success without meaning was just expensive noise, that building an empire meant nothing if you had nobody to share it with, that sometimes the bravest thing you could do was stop performing and start living. The billionaire CEO, who'd once had everything, had given up almost all of it, and the woman she'd become had everything that actually mattered. Walking back to the bedroom, Vanessa passed the mirror in the hallway and stopped. She looked different than she had 2 years ago. Softer, maybe. Less polished. More real. She looked happy. Not the performed happiness of magazine covers and carefully crafted social media. not the surface satisfaction of checking boxes and hitting targets. Real happiness, the kind that came from choosing right instead of choosing easy. Liam was already in bed, scrolling through his phone, probably checking soccer schedules or looking at reviews for some new tool he didn't need. "Emma okay?" he asked. "She's fine. Bad dream about dragons and homework." The worst combination. Vanessa climbed into bed beside him, and he immediately wrapped an arm around her, pulling her close. It was their routine now, this moment of contact before sleep, this reminder that they'd chosen each other and would keep choosing each other. "Liam?" "Yeah?" "Thank you." "For what?" "For fixing my sink." He laughed. "That's what you're thanking me for?" "Plumbing." "For fixing my sink and then fixing my life without even trying. For showing me what actually matters. For being exactly who you are and letting me figure out who I actually wanted to be." "You did that yourself. I just stood next to you while you figured it out." "You did more than that. You and Emma both. You showed me what a real life looked like, what real love looked like, what it meant to be present instead of just successful. We're pretty great like that." "You really are." They fell asleep tangled together in their Brooklyn bedroom, in their not-too-big house, with their daughter sleeping down the hall and their completely imperfect, absolutely perfect life happening all around them. And somewhere in Manhattan, in a penthouse Vanessa had sold 6 months ago, someone else was probably working late, answering emails at midnight, building an empire at the expense of everything else. Vanessa had been that person once, had thought that was what success looked like. Now she knew better. Success wasn't what you built in boardrooms or bank accounts. It wasn't what magazines wrote about or what strangers envied. It wasn't proving people wrong or showing ex-boyfriends what they'd lost. Success was Emma's laugh echoing through the house. It was Liam's hand in hers. It was Tuesday dinners and Saturday games, and the comfortable chaos of a life actually lived. It was choosing presence over performance, connection over control, love over legacy. It was learning that sometimes the smallest life was the biggest success, and the billionaire who'd once had everything had finally found what she'd been searching for all along. Not in the empire she'd built, not in the revenge she'd sought, but in the quiet moments of a simple life with people who loved her not for what she'd accomplished, but for who she was when she stopped trying to accomplish anything. That was the transformation nobody had seen coming, not even Vanessa herself. The woman who'd spent years proving she didn't need anyone had discovered she'd been wrong all along. She did need people. She needed love. She needed connection. She needed the plumber who'd fixed her sink and somehow fixed her heart. She needed the daughter who'd taught her that showing up mattered more than succeeding. She needed the life she'd almost been too scared to choose. And now that she had it, she was never letting go. Because some things, the real things, the important things, were worth more than all the empires in the world.